It's the most powerful show on television. High drama with intense energy. A show dedicated to a few brave souls who risk their lives for the sake of their craft. Its in-depth reporting goes to the core and unlocks the mysteries behind today's raciest sport. Motorsports. Catch it when you can.
Welcome back to Post Tech. Today we move on to episode number 27. After an exciting conclusion to the NASCAR Cup Series round of 12 at the Michigan International Speedway and the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval, which saw William Byron take his first career NASCAR Cup Series victory and Chase Briscoe win his way in to the round of 8 respectively. Today we'll be covering the round of 8 in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series with racing action from Martinsville, Homestead-Miami, and Talladega, 3 of the best racetracks on the circuit. But now, let's recap a little bit of the on-track activities from Michigan and the Roval before we get into this week's news stories. The story of the afternoon at Michigan for the Consumers Energy 400 was just how intense the racing was because of the high drag package. 3 to 4 wide racing was commonplace throughout the pack, and slingshots were possible due to the high amount of horsepower that they still had with the 550 package and the Superspeedway downforce package, and that combination ultimately led to 34 lead changes among 6 drivers. A very, very competitive race, especially given Michigan International Speedway's standards. However, close quarters racing easily leads to large accidents, most notably the separate incidents that took out A.J. Allmendinger and Chris Buescher, both in rollover crashes. Fortunately, there were no injuries in any of these incidents. However, in the crash that eliminated Chris Buescher, Ryan Blaney, who was having an absolutely stellar race and had already swept both stages on the day, ended up getting taken out in the melee. Blaney, however, did end the race with the most laps led, that being 27 laps on the day. Playoff contenders Kaz Gralla, Chase Briscoe, and Michael McDowell all suffered DNFs, placing them in a tough points position coming into the final race of the round of 12 at Charlotte, especially with Gralla, Briscoe, and McDowell all having a tough race at North Wilkesboro. Now, at Michigan having a DNF, they're pretty close to being borderline must-win scenarios at the Roval. But at Michigan, there was an incredible battle in the final 10 laps among the Hendrick Motorsports and Joe Gibbs racing cars, which ultimately led to a crash with just a handful of laps to go between JGR teammates Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch, both ending up crashing into the turn number 4 wall as William Byron swept by on the inside with a 4-wide move to take the race lead. Kyle Busch, when asked after the race what his biggest takeaways were, had this to say: "My biggest takeaway was that we should have won the race, but then Denny did something stupid. So yeah, great teammate." Not the first time that those two have had big-time disagreements. I hope you folks remember the 2010 All-Star race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. However, under these circumstances, they are both chasing a championship, and they cannot get caught up with infighting. Otherwise, neither of them will end up having a chance at the title in Atlanta. Kyle Busch especially has a lot riding on this season, as he could become the first repeat champion since Jimmy Johnson back in 2010 as well. In the end, in the Consumers Energy 400, holding off the field in a green-white checkered finish, William Byron took home his long-awaited first career NASCAR Cup Series victory in the Consumers Energy 400, a place where he came very close to scoring his first career Xfinity Series victory. Got edged out by Denny Hamlin. This time, I guess you could say, was redemption for Byron, taking his first Cup Series victory in his 4th full-time season. Byron becomes the first driver other than 4-time Cup Series champion Jeff Gordon to take the number 24 car to victory lane in the NASCAR Cup Series. And Hendrick Motorsports took the top 2 spots with Brad Keselowski just barely taking second spot. An incredible run out of Landon Castle, placing the Shepherd Racing Ventures number 89 car in 3rd position. He's really been raising his value recently as a free agent for the 2022 Cup Series season. Now, on to the Bank of America Roval 400, which set the round of 8 in the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. Track conditions were very poor, as there was practically non-stop rain on the speedway for 2 days by the point that we got to Sunday afternoon's event. Not to mention that there was fog rolling in towards the end of the race itself, but we had numerous road course ringers in the field, quite a few making their first career starts in the Bank of America Roval 400. as it was a double-header weekend with the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Series. Both racing series on the same track on the same weekend made for quite a bit of action, especially with all of it taking place in the wet weather conditions. Drivers making their Cup Series debuts included Nick Tandy, Kevin Magnussen joining his father in the field, Jordan Taylor, and Catherine Legg. The highest-placing ringer from that list was Catherine Legg, taking home a very impressive 8th-place finish for Rick Ware Racing, while the highest-finishing road course ringer overall was A.J. Allmendinger, taking home a 3rd-place position, and he actually had a shot at winning the race in the final 5 laps. But because of very tough track conditions, 21 laps out of 55 were ran under the caution flag, with 10 yellow flag periods in total, 2 of those being for stages. Most importantly, Kaz Gralla suffered a DNF, knocking him out of the playoffs. 2 consecutive DNFs for the number 50 team. Also, track conditions at the Roval were so tough that we had not 1, but 2 flips in the Bank of America Roval 400. So that means 4 flips in 2 weeks if you count the event at Michigan. But both Cole Custer and Justin Allgaier just so happened to turn over in separate accidents at the Roval. Fortunately, no injuries in any accident from either Michigan or the Roval. But it was a very treacherous race in the Bank of America Roval 400. Justin Allgaier, when he turned over in the very tight exit of turn number 2, was almost impacted by the dominant car of the day, the 53 of Chase Briscoe. So a bit of a scary situation there. In fact, there was a little bit of damage on the right C-post of the number 53 car where the spoiler from the 42 of Justin Allgaier came down and touched right where the C-post meets the rear windshield on the 53 car. It was a very close moment for Briscoe. And I should mention that Chase Briscoe had an absolutely dominant day, winning the pole, both stages, and having led the most laps. However, early race dominance, most notably giving up track position to take home the stage number 2 victory, ended up putting him in the back for the final stage, right around 19th position. Remember that he was in a points position at the time where he practically had to win the race to make the next round, and that was the team's goal coming in. They did not even consider point racing. They showed up with the single goal of taking home the victory. Chase Briscoe's charge through the field in the final 5 laps from 5th position is one of the most determined drives that we've seen out of a competitor in recent years. And the nature of the playoffs is what brings out these certain situations. But he absolutely barreled through Denny Hamlin, coming off of turn number 2, turning Hamlin into the inside wall and leading to multiple cars getting damaged from piling into the mess. However, no caution flag came out of it. Needless to say, Hamlin was very upset about that, including with NASCAR, over the fact that there was a no caution call. Then, after Briscoe had driven his way through Denny Hamlin, quite literally, he drove right into the middle of a 3-car battle for the lead, rubbing into A.J. Allmendinger and forcing the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. up into the outside wall. By the end of the first lap after the restart, he had made his way up into 2nd position, and the only car left for him to chase was the number 9, fittingly, of Chase Elliott. Briscoe both caught and passed Elliott in the heavy braking zones, where the number 53 car could absolutely sail off into the corners before slowing down, kind of mastering that rain racing technique under heavy braking. He credited a lot of that coming from his teammate Jan Magnussen, kind of raising him up to learn these difficult road course racing skills. But once Briscoe took over the race lead, he held on to that top spot and actually gapped the number 9 car by more than 4 seconds to win his 4th career NASCAR Cup Series victory and lock himself into the round of 8. Briscoe now has a Cup Series victory on asphalt, concrete, dirt, and in the wet weather conditions. Pretty much one of the most diverse drivers we've seen, especially with 4 career victories and 4 different surface types and conditions that he's won on. Now, unlike Michigan, where Kyle Busch left frustrated with Denny Hamlin, after Charlotte, Hamlin had somebody to be frustrated with, and that was Chase Briscoe. Hamlin, in fact, confronted Briscoe in the victory lane, which fortunately NASCAR officials blocked anything from occurring, mainly due to Hamlin's ranting on the radio. They knew where to go. But Hamlin since has refused to comment on the Chase Briscoe situation and what occurred at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. The way we see it, he's not allowing the drama to get to him, and his only focus for the remainder of this season is on securing his first career NASCAR Cup Series championship. Now, that doesn't mean that he's going to totally factor out potentially retaliating on the 53 car if he gets the chance, but it's not his main priority. He's not going to let this derail his fight for a Cup Series title. Now, following the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval, Alex Bowman, the regular season champion of Joey Logano, Michael McDowell, and Kaz Gralla all had their championships runs dashed as they were eliminated from the Cup Series playoffs. Now, all 4 Joe Gibbs Racing cars remain in the playoffs, making up 50% of the remaining contenders, 4 out of 8. And the remaining 4 drivers with a chance at it are Chase Briscoe, Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez, and Kevin Harvick. Suarez is still the title favorite, with a series-leading 4 wins on the year, but with a tough round ahead at Martinsville, Homestead, and Talladega, and with all 8 contenders only separated by just 20 points, there is absolutely no guarantee that he'll make it to Atlanta with a chance at the championship. And now, finally on to some silly season news, primarily about the Camping World Truck Series. Been a bit of a light week about Cup Series news. However, there is one thing on the Cup Series side that we definitely need to mention. Insiders tell me that there is going to be news about a certain 7-time champion once we get into championship weekend at Atlanta. I'll just leave it at that. And also a little bit of news on the 55 car of Ross Chastain. They have confirmed that there will be a number change on that team for next season. They've kind of attributed the number 55 as being a source of bad luck over the last 2 seasons. And also they are going to be searching for a new sponsor for next season, as their primary sponsor, Nutrient Ag Solutions, is backing out of NASCAR at the end of the year. So the 55 team, soon to be an unannounced number, is going to be on a sponsorship search and soon to announce a new number for the 2022 campaign. They will still be fielding Ross Chastain for next season. And now, Kyle Larson has announced a few major changes, as he put it, to Larson Gilliland Racing's Camping World Truck Series program, and that those will be announced in the coming weeks. Essentially, he put out a teaser of it, mainly relating to the number 15 of Tanner Gray, as that team has not only struggled in the races that they've made, but has also struggled to make them in general. Odds are there will be some major shuffle-ups on that number 15 team for 2022. And yet another Ford team was in the news in the Camping World Truck Series. A transaction was made between Front Row Motorsports and Rayom Brothers Racing for the rights of the number 34 truck, as FRM is intending on expanding to a second full-time truck next season, and Chandler Smith currently leads the list of candidates for taking that ride. He is likely going to have some sponsorship issues, maybe not the full season covered. When he starts the year in Daytona, might have to impress a few sponsors or two, but the way it looks right now, Smith going to FRM might just be a done deal already. Now, some really important news about one of the Camping World Truck Series' greatest competitors. 2016 Series champion Johnny Sauter has confirmed his retirement from full-time competition at the conclusion of the season. He was struggling with the decision and going back and forth on it throughout the year, but Sauter finally confirmed it in a press conference with ThorSport Racing, as Johnny Sauter will be remembered as one of the Camping World Truck Series' best and possibly most controversial drivers, and in his heyday rarely went without a weekend not making the headlines in some way or another. If Sauter cannot close this season with a victory, he will end his full-time career with 24 victories and a championship, one of the best of the series. Along with Johnny Sauter, his veteran crew chief Joe Shear Jr. will be joining him in retirement, citing that they both have plans for 2022 and beyond. However, they did not expand on those plans, so going to be left up to a bit of speculation there before some announcements start to come out. There was also one more retirement announcement at ThorSport Racing, and that is that Junior Joyner, Matt Crafton's longtime crew chief, will also be stepping away at the end of the season, stating that it's time to be a dad. Joyner has a chance to become a 4-time champion along with his driver Matt Crafton if they can continue their fantastic season together with that 88 team. Tying Ron Hornaday would certainly be the biggest moment of Joyner and Crafton's career and the absolute best way to close his incredible run as a crew chief, tying one of the sport's greatest competitors. However, with all these retirements, we actually have a Truck Series legend coming back into the sport. 2006 and 2010 Camping World Truck Series champion Todd Bodine has signed on with Hallmark Friesen Racing to run their second truck in 6 starts next year, with funding coming from Camping World. Bodine intends on primarily competing on the intermediate racetracks, which are his bread and butter if you recall his Truck Series career. He never won on a track shorter than 1 mile. However, Bodine will run at Watkins Glen next season as well, which is his home track and the site of his only Truck Series start of this season, which he ran for Clay Greenfield. Having such an experienced veteran in the second truck at Hallmark Friesen Racing will be a great test to see how well that team can adapt to being a multi-truck team, with Stuart Friesen in the 52 and most likely Todd Bodine in the number 62. He also gets paired up with the same manufacturer that he won 2 championships with, his 2006 and 2010 titles, with Toyota Racing Development. And so now, after all the news and the recap, we move on to the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series round of 8, where we have Three of the most intense races of the year up ahead of us to determine who will race for a championship at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Short track action at Martinsville, multi-groove racing at Homestead-Miami, and remarkable pack racing 3 and 4 wide, slingshots included, to cap it all off. Here are the highlights of the round of 8 races in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series in the United Rentals 200 from Martinsville Speedway, the Baptist Health 200 from Homestead-Miami Speedway, and the Chevrolet Silverado 250 from the Talladega Superspeedway. In the race analysis, the United Rentals 200 here from the Martinsville Speedway will take place over the course of 200 laps around this half-mile paperclip, with stage number 1 coming to its conclusion on lap 50 and stage number 2 meeting its end on lap 100. And folks, at this racetrack, track position is very, very critical. Not so much is tire wear. So that means you can stay out or maybe take 2 tires, get that track position, and then not be passed. And this place is practically just one groove. You want to roll the very inside of the racetrack, stay right by that yellow line, kind of like Bristol, but this place has none of the banking that Bristol does. But same type of short track characteristic of keep that truck stuck down on the bottom. And when I say roll the inside, I emphasize the roll part, because you do not want to use up the brake pedal too much here at the Martinsville Speedway. You can have brake fade very easily, run into trouble by overusing your brakes, and have none towards the end of the race. So you want to try and really roll your vehicle through the corners here at Martinsville. Lift about halfway down the straightaway, not use the brake pedal very much, because you want to make the full distance with that brake pedal still functioning. And with this racetrack being practically one groove right down on the inside, you're going to be seeing a lot of rough and tumble racing, because if you can't pass somebody naturally, what do? You move them up the racetrack. And sometimes moving gets a little bit too aggressive and somebody gets sent around, then we have a big old mess. So you want to stay out of trouble to continue your playoff run and your quest for the championship, because you don't want to get put into a big point hole here at Martinsville, getting wrapped up in someone else's trouble and then have to dig your way out of it at Homestead or Talladega. Here's a really big key about Martinsville. Don't jump the restarts. Single file restarts here at Martinsville kind of opens up the opportunity coming off of turn number 4 to jump down to the inside and try to beat somebody back to the start-finish line on the restart. But what you don't want to do is be in front of them once you get to the line. Now, you can edge up right alongside of the truck on your outside and try to beat them into the next corner, turn number 1. But you do not want to beat them to the start-finish line, otherwise you will be black flagged by NASCAR for a restart violation. I don't know how many times I've said it, but I'm going to continue saying it. It's the playoffs. More importantly, it's the round of 8, the final round before the championship. Win and you are in. If you take the victory here at Martinsville, you do not have to worry about Homestead-Miami or, more importantly, the unpredictable Talladega Superspeedway. Win here today, and you will have at least a chance at contending for that championship at Atlanta Motor Speedway if you're one of the 8 drivers still contending for the Camping World Truck Series title. And here are your point standings coming into today's United Rentals 200. Matt Crafton and Grant Enfinger set tied at the top of the playoff grid. Teammate Ben Rhodes sets in 3rd position, 8 points out of the point lead. Stuart Friesen in 4th, 10 points out of the point lead, that making it a Toyota top 4 right now. 6 Toyotas and 2 Chevrolets still with a chance at the title. Ty Dillon sets 5th in points, 14 points out of the point lead. Austin Hill in 6th, 15 points out. Ty Gibbs in 7th, 18 points out, and Casey Mears in 8th position, the Daytona race winner, 20 points out of the point lead. And those are your only drivers still with a chance at the championship through all the eliminations that we've had in the playoffs so far. And now here's the highest runners in point standings of those who have already been eliminated from the playoffs. Christian Eckes sets 9th in points, the highest runner of those who have already been eliminated. He holds that spot by 4 points right now above Sheldon Creed. Then Brendan Poole in 11th, Dawson Cram all the way up to 12th position. Timothy Peters has gotten into a bit of a slump lately, falling down to 13th position in the points. Parker Kligerman up to 14th position. Brett Holmes in 15th position, and Ryan Truex in 16th. Then we have our highest contenders who did not make the playoffs whatsoever. Currently, Austin Theriault holds that spot, 17th in point standings, then Zane Smith 18th, Todd Gilliland in 19th, and John Hunter Nemechek rounding out your top 20. In the starting lineup here at the Martinsville Speedway, GMS Racing takes your front row. Zane Smith qualifying on the pole spot for the first time this season. Sheldon Creed in second spot, matching his truck number. Timothy Peters puts the Nemco Motorsports number 87 in third position. Will Rogers in fourth. Casey Mears in fifth, the highest qualified playoff contender. Then Christian Eckes in sixth position. Dawson Cram seventh. Parker Kligerman in eighth spot. Chandler Smith in ninth, and Brennan Poole rounding out your top 10. Other notable starters include Ty Dillon, the playoff contender, starting from 11th. The number 3 truck of Brandon McReynolds from 12th position. The 1 of Haley Deegan 13th. 25 of Mason Mingus in 15th position. 18 of Ty Gibbs, who's going after that championship, will start from 16th spot. Johnny Sauter, in what may or may not be his final Truck Series appearance at Martinsville, rolls off from 17th. Ben Rhodes, the playoff contender, will start from 18th position. Then the 51 of Daniel Hemrick from 19th spot. Then the 61 of Max McLaughlin in 20th. The 16, his teammate Austin Hill, who's also going after the championship, from 21st. Another playoff contender, the 52 of Stuart Friesen, will start in 22nd. The 45 of TJ Bell, the Myrtle Beach race winner, will start from 23rd position. Then we have the 14 of Sam Mayer, starting in 24th. The 19 of Derek Kraus from 25th. Playoff contender Matt Crafton from 26th position. The 24 of Rafael Lassard down in 28th. The 15 of Tanner Gray from 30th. The number 5 of Jake Finch will start down in 31st position. Then we have the 8 of Camden Murphy, will start from 33rd. Impressively, the 04 of Corey Roper made the field. He will roll off in 34th position. Then the 42 of Carson Hocevar from 35th. 17 of Taylor Gray from 36th position. 56 of Timmy Hill from 37th. The 02 of Tony Breidinger will start from 38th spot. Then the 6 of Nick Sanchez from 39th. The 92 of Austin Terrio in 40th. The playoff contender Grant Enfinger starts all the way down in 41st position. And finally, Ty Majeski qualifies a 55 truck in 42nd position, dead last. We had 50 trucks attempt to make the race. That means that we had 8 trucks head home. Those include the number 0 of Tate Fogelman. Surprisingly, the number 4 of John Hunter Nemechek did not make the field here at Martinsville. The 03 of Danny Bowen missed out on the show, as well as the 11 of Spencer Davis, the 26 of Chase Purdy, the 38 of Todd Gilliland, a past winner here, as well as obviously John Hunter Nemechek, a past winner at this facility. Then the number 44 of Jet Nolan did not make the field. Neither did the number 22 of Austin Wayne Self. Those are all the drivers who failed to make today's United Rentals 200. And when the green flag flew for the United Rentals 200, it was nearly a melee down in turns 1 and 2. Zane Smith got a good jump on the start. Off of turn 2, he was able to get around the number 2 of Sheldon Creed, clearing the outside line. But watch this towards the middle of the field. The 13 truck of Johnny Sauter makes a 4-wide move beneath Mason Mingus, Ty Gibbs, and the 33 of Ryan Truex. Gibbs gets into the 33 truck of Truex, sending him up into the outside wall, and the playoff contender of Ben Rhodes gets front-end damage out of this. 2 playoff contenders involved in an accident coming off of turn 2 on the first lap, but a lot of front-end damage on that number 99 truck. But as that accident occurred coming off turn 2, we actually had another spin occur coming off the second corner as the 04 truck of Corey Roper makes contact with the 23 of Brett Holmes, sending that 23 truck around. He gets it corrected, but the caution flag is already out with less than 1 lap completed here at Martinsville. 21 truck races his way back to the stripe as the leader, with the 87 of Timothy Peters taking over second off the number 2 truck of Sheldon Creed. And on lap number 3, the 99 truck of Ben Rhodes comes down pit road for damage repair, and they even cut the hood off the number 99 truck. Lap 4, we have even more trucks down pit road, including Derek Kraus, the 33 of Ryan Truex, the 15 of Tanner Gray, quite a few others, but most importantly, the 98 of Grant Enfinger, the playoff contender, who was all the way down in 41st position, comes down pit road just for fuel only. On lap number 7, the field takes the green flag once again, trying to make at least 1 complete lap under green. And watch this, the 4th place restarter, Casey Mears, makes a 3-wide move through turns 1 and 2, getting around both Sheldon Creed and the 87 of Timothy Peters, going from 4th to 2nd. The playoff contender not showing any patience early here in the United Rentals 200, and neither is the number 46 of Chandler Smith, who made a 3-wide move from 7th all the way to 5th. And I mentioned that it was easy to jump the restart. Well, guess what? Lap number 7, the 19, 17, 99, and 55 trucks all get black flagged by NASCAR for jumping the restart and passing a truck before the start-finish line on the inside. Now, you can do that to the outside, but you cannot do it to the inside, so all those 4 trucks had to serve stop-and-go penalties. But a bad day gone worse for the number 99 team of Ben Rhodes. They came in here as one of the favorites to advance into the championship 4. Right now, they're in a pretty large point hole already in the first race of the round of 8. Lap number 9, coming down to turn number 1, the 40 truck of Will Rogers makes contact with the right rear quarter panel of the number 31 of Ty Dillon. And now all the trucks that came down pit road to serve their black flag come up right with the lead trucks. Now battling with the leaders to get back onto the lead lap, as the number 21 of Zane Smith currently leads by about 1 second, and the 15 of Tanner Gray came down pit road for a flat tire. He did not get a black flag. And we have trouble on lap number 10 with 3 playoff contenders involved. The 31 truck of Ty Dillon makes contact with the left rear quarter panel of the lap truck of Tanner Gray, sending him around coming off of turn number 2. He then cuts back to the right to try and avoid the 17 truck, gets hit by the 99 of Ben Rhodes, and up into the 16 of Austin Hill. 3 playoff contenders involved right there. The 88 truck of Matt Crafton goes for evasive action. The 24 of Raphael Lassard gets stopped up in time. And now the field's heading off into turn 3, almost 4 wide, with the number 92 truck of Austin Terrio almost taking out the inside orange cone for pit road. Fortunately, no more accidents coming back to the caution flag, but a very hairy lap here at Martinsville. A costly one for 3 playoff contenders, as the number 99 truck has already been involved in 3 types of accident. Lap number 15, the number 30 truck of Brendan Poole has a flat tire under caution. Just so happened to run over some of the debris from the accident coming off of turn 2. And so we had a pretty tame restart out in front with the 21 and 60 trucks getting away. But watch this restart out of the 42 truck of Hocevar. Dives down to the first corner, passes about 3 or 4 trucks, then goes 4 wide with 2 playoff contenders, including Stuart Friesen. And the 16 of Austin Hill makes contact with the 45 of Bill. Coming into turn number 3, slides up the hill, forces the 52 truck almost into the outside wall. A 4-wide moment, barreling all the way through this field goes Hocevar, and he passes about 7 or 8 trucks in 1 lap after the restart. Didn't make any friends in those moves, and definitely cost the 52 truck of Stuart Friesen a lot of track position. Coming down to turn number 1, battling with lap traffic, and the 46 of Chandler Smith. Contact gets made between the 3rd and 4th place runners, with Smith making contact with the right rear quarter panel of the number 2 truck of Sheldon Creed. That allows Creed to get away, with now Timothy Peters going 3 wide on the inside of both Chandler Smith and Derek Kraus. That's going to move the number 87 truck up into 4th position. And by lap number 25, the 88 truck of Matt Crafton, he's made his way all the way up to 7th position. Quietly consistent, just like he's been all season long. And on lap number 26, we have quite a few playoff contenders running in the back. All the playoff drivers, from Gibbs to Hill to Friesen to Enfinger, run from 28th to 34th right now on track. And by lap number 31, we have 2 drivers quietly making their way up into the top 10, those being the 09 of Stephen Parsons running in 9th, and the number 13 of Johnny Sauter running in 10th, as well as the 14 of Sam Mayer, currently running in 8th position. Lap 36, LGR teammates of Taylor Gray and Haley Deegan battle to remain the last truck on the lead lap. Making contact right there entering turn number 1, and these 2 getting together slows up the race leader of Zane Smith, allowing the 60 of Casey Mears to apply pressure. Coming into turns 3 and 4, Mears dives down to the bottom. Now side by side for the top spot as Haley Deegan drops down to the last truck on the lead lap. Coming into turn number 1, Mears forces his way up the inside of the 21 truck and takes away the race lead. Casey Mears, the playoff contender, trying to win his way into the championship 4 here at Martinsville. And on lap number 43, look at the truck who's right up in front of the 60 of Casey Mears. That is the number 98 of Grant Enfinger, the playoff contender. Mears wastes no time in attempting to lap the number 98 before the end of stage number 1. Dives down hard into turn number 1 and laps the 98 of Grant Enfinger. That's a great move for Mears, who's essentially trying to eliminate those who could be the strongest contenders against him. But that did allow the number 21 of Zane Smith to close that gap right up to the tailgate in the remaining few laps of stage number 1. But a bad break for the 98 of Enfinger, as 1 lap is a very difficult thing to make up here at Martinsville. Lap number 48, the 60 truck of Mears has a lot of lap traffic to deal with, including Taylor Gray, Camden Murphy, and Tony Breidinger. And running in this heavy lap traffic is still giving the 21 truck a chance at making his way around the 60. But right there, the 60 truck clears the 17, gets his way to the inside of Breidinger, now going after Camden Murphy. As we approach the last lap in stage number 1, we got a 3-wide battle going on right here on track. The 56 of Timmy Hill makes the move down to the inside. Those are all lap trucks right there. Another 3-wide move being made by the lead lap truck of Timothy Peters, taking over the 3rd spot off the number 2 truck of Sheldon Creed, as Casey Mears has put now a large gap on the 21 of Zane Smith, coming through turns 3 and 4 in the final lap of stage number 1. Now off of the 4th corner, Casey Mears is going to win stage number 1 here at Martinsville. Already a big statement out of that playoff contender. Taking that first stage and lapping the number 98 of Grant Enfinger. Mears is your stage number 1 victor, above the 21 of Zane Smith, 87 of Timothy Peters, 40 of Will Rogers, who stole 4th, and then the 2 truck of Sheldon Creed, who dropped all the way down to 5th position. On the lap after stage number 1, we had quite a few trucks duck down pit road, including the 09 of Stephen Parsons, 45 of TJ Bell, and a couple playoff contenders, such as Ty Dillon, Stuart Friesen, and Austin Hill, all hitting the pits. And Austin Hill, the number 16 truck, had a tremendous amount of trouble on pit road. Accidentally makes contact with the 45 truck right there of TJ Bell. And remember, this 16 team is racing the pace car off of pit road to try and stay on the lead lap. Right here, Stuart Friesen gets off. There's the pace car. And the 99 truck's coming into his pit stall. They make contact with the number 16 of Austin Hill. Ben Rhodes slows down. The 16 truck stop. The 52 of Friesen barely beats the pace car off of pit road, but the 16 of Austin Hill gets held a lap as he drops 1 lap down behind the pace car, being held up on his stop by both TJ Bell and Ben Rhodes. Very tough break for this number 16 team, as this also digs them a bit of a hole, which they are unlikely to dig themselves out of because of how hard it is to get a lap back here at the Martinsville Speedway. Lap 55, we have a couple more trucks down pit road, including the 14 of Sam Mayer, 25 of Mason Mingus, 51 of Daniel Hemrick, and quite a few others follow him down. On lap number 56, the 6 truck of Nick Sanchez comes down pit road with the field going green this time by. And the green flag will wave for stage number 2, as the number 60 truck of Casey Mears once again gets off to a great jump above the 21 of Zane Smith. Now exiting turn number 2 with about a 2 truck length lead. And we had even more trucks getting black flagged for restart violations, including playoff contender Stuart Friesen has to serve a black flag, as well as Timmy Hill, Tanner Gray, Mason Mingus, and Jake Finch. But what a tough break for this number 52 team, serving this penalty under green, dropping at least 1 lap down. And right after the restart, Thor Sport trucks of Johnny Sauter and Matt Crafton got to racing each other. These two battled for the victory back at Bristol. And now Sauter takes over the 6th spot, gets his way to the inside of Sheldon Creed, and actually breaks his way into the top 5. This is one of his better racetracks, and Sauter's still looking for victory to close off his final full-time season. And we have a big crash on lap number 61. Coming off of turn number 4, the 30 of Brennan Poole makes contact with the 24 of Raphael Lessard, spinning him around down the front straightaway, and the 75 truck of Kligerman has nowhere to go and slams nose to nose with the 24 truck of Lessard, knocking them both out of the race with heavy front end damage. Here's a better look at the impact between the 24 and 75 trucks. There's absolutely nowhere for Kligerman to go, and slams dead straight into the 24. The 30 of Brendan Poole also got turned around by the 51 of Daniel Hemrick, as the field was trying to avoid the spinning number 24. On lap number 63, we have some more trucks down pit road, including Brandon McReynolds, Chandler Smith, Corey Roper, and the playoff contender of Ty Gibbs. And from bad to worse for the number 99 team of Ben Rhodes. Rhodes blows the engine under the caution flag period. This 99 team is done for the day after just 63 laps. Here at Martinsville Speedway, they become the 3rd DNF of the day. On lap 66, we have some front runners ducking onto pit road, including the 2nd and 5th place trucks of Zane Smith and Johnny Sauter coming down for service. On the next lap, the 8th place runner of Sheldon Creed also comes down pit road as well. Also on lap 69, the lap truck of Grant Enfinger comes down pit road for tires. And the green flag comes back out on lap number 71 with 30 laps to go in stage number 2. Coming into turn number 1, the 40 truck of Will Rogers jumps down to the inside, the second place runner of Timothy Peters, taking over that second spot. And how about this? The 33 of Ryan Truex tries to go 4 wide on TJ Bell, playoff contender Matt Crafton, and the 41 of Dawson Cram almost spins the 45 truck around coming into turn number 3. They fortunately keep it together with no one going around, surprisingly. On lap number 71, the playoff contender of Ty Gibbs gets called down pit road for a black flag. Once again, restart violation. You see right there, the 04 truck spun his tires and actually got up into the outside wall trying to save that truck. The 18 of Ty Gibbs jumped down to the inside to try and avoid him, but he passed him on the inside before the start-finish line. That is a black flag for the playoff contender Ty Gibbs. A tough break there as he is still chasing that championship, but fortunately for him, so many playoff contenders have had trouble already. He's actually going to be racing with quite a few playoff drivers, even running 1 lap down. Coming into lap number 73, the 09 truck of Stephen Parsons dives down to the bottom of the 40 of Will Rogers, taking over the second spot as the 60 of Casey Mears runs away with the lead with help from lap traffic. On lap number 77, the second place runner Stephen Parsons gets caught up racing with lap trucks, those being Mason Mingus and Ty Gibbs, and allows the third place truck of Ryan Truex to sweep down to the inside and take over that second spot. Recall that on lap number 1, coming off of turn 2, Ryan Truex got up into the outside wall after being turned up there by Ty Gibbs. Now he's racing for second spot. Watch this move on lap number 80. Brett Holmes goes through the middle of playoff contender Ty Dillon and the pole sitter of Zane Smith and just shoves Dillon all the way up the racetrack, making contact with him multiple times right there. Very aggressive move through the middle, which does actually allow both the 21 and 46 trucks to clear both of them. And Stephen Parsons gets extremely aggressive for second spot on lap number 83. Watch this move coming down to turn number 1. Tries to go up through the middle of the 33 of Ryan Truex, and the lap truck of Ty Gibbs right there makes contact with the right rear quarter panel of the 33 truck. Now they're all sliding up the hill at this point. 3 wide, all 3 of them making contact off of each other. 33 gets clipped in the right rear once again by the 09. Turned up into the outside wall. Pretty hard impact for the number 33 truck once again, reminiscent of lap number 1. And the 09 truck takes away that second spot, and this is definitely making the race leader of Casey Mears smile ear to ear, I'd imagine, as these two continuously battle for second spot. And I'm sure that Ryan Truex is no way happy with the number 09 truck at this point after being almost dumped for that race lead, as now lap traffic gets their way around the 60 of Casey Mears. Jake Finch made his way to the inside, then opened up the floodgates right now for the 25 of Mason Mingus. But the 09 of Stephen Parsons tries to get in there, but gets the door closed on him coming off of turn number 4. And now we have 3 trucks under a blanket for the top spot, coming into just 15 laps to go in stage number 2. Lap number 86, the 09 of Stephen Parsons overdrives turn number 1, allows the 33 truck to make his move on the inside. And Ryan Truex easily takes away that second spot, once again opening up the gap for the 60 of Mears. And have a look at this on lap number 86. Daniel Hemrick pulls off a textbook bump and run on the number 98 of Grant Enfinger, who runs 1 lap down right now and is racing for just all the points that he can get at this point. But a 3-wide move gets made by Hemrick, getting his way around both the 19 and 98 trucks of Kraus and Enfinger. And on lap number 89, the 09 truck of Stephen Parsons makes his way back up into second spot once again. And still the battle for second is letting that 60 of Mears drive away. Lap 92, the 33 truck of Ryan Truex flat out misses the entry to turn number 1. Slides up all the way into the asphalt. That's just practically marbles up towards the wall here at Martinsville. That essentially drops the 33 truck out of the race to win stage number 2. It's now down to a 2-truck race between the 60 of Mears and the 09 of Stephen Parsons. And Stephen Parsons spent the next few laps trying desperately to make his way around the 60 of Casey Mears, but Mears, with all his veteran experience, did a great job at holding off the number 09 truck of Parsons, to where Parsons made a mistake through 3 and 4 on lap number 98, once again allowing Ryan Truex down to the bottom and making the gap from first to second more than half a second for Casey Mears to just nurse that gap home to the stage 2 victory. Through turns 1 and 2 right there, the 33 truck is going to take over the second spot, with Mears about to take the white flag in stage number 2, trying to sweep the stages here at Martinsville. And there it is for Mears with a 33 truck trying to clear the 09 for second. Through turns 1 and 2, looks like he might be able to do it, as the 60 now runs almost 1 second in front of the second place runner of Ryan Truex. Through turns 3 and 4 once again for Casey Mears. And Mears is going to do it. He will sweep stages 1 and 2 here at Martinsville, trying to take home the grandfather clock in an advancement to the championship 4. Mears is your stage number 2 winner. Ryan Truex brought home the second place finish in this stage. Very hard fought as well. Stephen Parsons third, Will Rogers fourth, and TJ Bell in fifth. On lap 101, following the conclusion of stage number 2, the entire lead lap field hits pit road for what could possibly be their final stop of the day if we don't get any more cautions. And we had a shakeup of pit road. The number 33 team of Ryan Truex get off of pit road in the first position, with the 60 truck of Casey Mears dropping down to second and the 09 of Stephen Parsons remaining in third. I should also mention that the number 25 of Mason Mingus, 5 of Jake Finch, and the number 3 of Brandon McReynolds all dropped 1 lap down on pit road due to damage repair. We also had the number 30 truck of Brendan Pools stall on pit road. They're currently servicing that truck as well. He has dropped 2 laps down. And the green flag waves for the final stage here at Martinsville on lap 106, with the number 33 truck clearing the 60 easily down in turns 1 and 2, and the 45 truck of TJ Bell taking over fourth, now going for third on Stephen Parsons. 3-wide battle farther back with Sam Mayer all the way down on the bottom. Bell takes over third. We also had a little bit of action between the 40 of Will Rogers and the 12 truck of Christian Eckes. Nearly a 4-wide moment right there, as the 40 makes contact with the left rear quarter panel of the 12. A great job saving that truck by Christian Eckes, and they all keep going in the right direction. Lap 107, we had trouble as the pole sitter Zane Smith goes 4 wide beneath Tony Breidinger. Grant Enfinger, and all the way up towards the wall is Taylor Gray. They squeeze together coming off of turn number 2. There's just no room for 4 trucks right there off the second corner. The 21 makes contact with the 02 of Breidinger, sending her around and into the inside wall. Caution flag waves on lap 107. And we should mention that the number 6 truck of Nick Sanchez has dropped out of the race due to an engine failure. We also have an interesting situation going on in the top 10 right now, as Nice Motorsports has 3 of their trucks in the top 10. The 45 truck of TJ Bell currently resides in 3rd, 42 of Josefar 5th, and the 40 of Will Rogers in 10th position. One of their best runs this season overall as a team. And on the restart on lap 113, the 40 truck of Will Rogers gets very aggressive down to turn number 1, puts the bumper to the 87 of Timothy Peters, goes 3 wide down on the bottom, as well as Daniel Hemrick farther back, put the bumper to the 23 truck and dove 3 wide to the inside. As up towards the front of the field, the 09 of Stephen Parsons getting hounded by the 42, as well as the 45 of TJ Bell trying to take over second off the 60 of Casey Mears. Right there, gets to the inside. TJ Bell, the Myrtle Beach race winner, takes over the second spot here at Martinsville as Casey Mears has started to fall back. And once again, the battle for second, allowing the race leader to get away. Now the 33 truck of Ryan Truex has about a half a second advantage above second position. And on the restart, the number 98 of Grant Enfinger got a restart violation. Right there, dives to the inside of the 17, who got up into the outside wall and passes him on the inside before the start-finish line, quite obviously. Enfinger was black flagged by NASCAR and had to serve a stop-and-go penalty. A bad day gone worse for this number 98 team. We had trouble once again on lap 116. The 40 and 14 trucks racing for 7th, coming into turn number 1. The 14 really misjudges the corner entry right there, clips the 40 of Will Rogers. They both head up into the outside wall. The 14 truck of Mayer goes around through turns 1 and 2, bringing out the caution flag. Then racing back to the caution flag, we had a 3-wide battle coming off of turn 2 involving also the 40 of Will Rogers, who had just gotten up into the outside wall. Mingus clipped the 92 of Terrio, who was running up the racetrack. Mingus gets turned around right there. 51 of Daniel Hemrick then finishes him off, coming right in front of the nose of the 13 of Johnny Sauter. So they wrecked for about a quarter of a mile on lap 116. You know, on lap 120, we have 2 playoff contenders running not too close to the front, but still running right together. The 31 of Ty Dillon and the 88 of Matt Crafton currently reside 14th and 15th, respectively. Right in the thick of this round of 8-point battle, as the majority of the top 10 is not championship contending, with the obvious exception of the Stage 1 and 2 sweeper, as well as third-place contender of Casey Mears. And on lap 122, the 60 truck of Casey Mears gets a great restart, dives to the bottom of TJ Bell, taking over the second spot on the exit of turn 2. Following suit down on the inside, we had the 09 taking over third spot as well. However, we did not make it far without getting a caution flag. I'm sure you can see why this situation didn't work. Chandler Smith tries to go 4 wide off turn 2 on Timothy Peters, Will Rogers, and Austin Terrio. There's just not room for it. Chandler Smith makes contact with the 87 of Peters, turns him around down the back straightaway, but watch this. Peters does a full 360, a little bit of rear-end contact right there, gets the truck corrected, then tries to remerge with the field. Right there, actually commits to pit roads. That would have been a penalty anyway, but tries to miss the pit road attenuator wall, slides up into 2 playoff contenders, taking the 88 of Matt Crafton and the 31 of Ty Dillon up into the outside wall, as well as the 19 of Derek Kraus. 13 of Johnny Sauter had to go for evasive action. He makes contact with the 87, and the 14 of Sam Mayer got slowed up just in time, but a big accident on lap 123. And on lap 128, we didn't even make it to turn number 1 before we had a crash. And as you can tell, in the round of 8, all these competitors going for all the track position they can get at every possible moment. It leads to a lot of accidents, especially at a racetrack such as Martinsville, which is chaos even in a spring race, let alone having a playoff event. But coming down to turn number 1, the 51 of Daniel Hemrick just way overdrives the corner as the field's backing up, entering turn number 1, gets himself turned around. Then the 5 truck of Jake Finch finishes off the 12 of Christian Eckes, 88 of Matt Crafton in this, the 25 of Mason Mingus, 55 of Ty Majeski. Quite a few trucks get backed up right here, as well as the pole sitter of Zane Smith, the 52 of Stuart Friesen, and the 16 of Austin Hill, with the field already under the caution flag, and we haven't even exited turn number 2. And while all that action was going on, entering turn number 1, we did have a battle for second as the 60 truck of Mears overdrives his corner entry, allowing the 09 of Stephen Parsons to take that spot away as there was contact farther back between the 56 of Timmy Hill and the 61 of Max McLaughlin. Fortunately for the 61 truck, he kept it together, but a very eventful lap. They're on lap 128 at Martinsville in the United Reynolds 200. And the field takes the green flag once again on lap 134 here at Martinsville. Coming down to turn number 1, the 61 of Max McLaughlin goes 3 wide underneath the 60 and 45 trucks as Casey Mears put the bumper right there, the 45 of TJ Bell. Max McLaughlin now takes over the 3rd spot. That second entry for Hattori Racing Enterprises, the 33 of Ryan Truex, still running away with the race lead, currently above his new rival, the 09 of Stephen Parsons, as these two almost wrecked each other earlier in the race. And that 33 truck has been up against the outside wall in turn 2 more than once today. The fact that it is leading, even capable of leading this race, is rather remarkable. They haven't worked on that truck very much, so I guess you could say Trueck's been pretty lucky. Every time he's hit the outside wall, that truck hasn't needed a lot of clearance on the right side. And on lap 138, cautions are really starting to breed cautions now as playoff contender Matt Crafton makes contact with the 04 of Corey Roper, turning him around, coming off of turn number 4. Field goes for evasive action. The 2 truck finishes him off, and right there, the 52, the playoff contender of Stuart Friesen, piles in with nowhere to go. A lot of front-end damage on that 52 truck now here at Martinsville as the field is once again back under the caution flag. And the green flag flies once again on lap 144 here at Martinsville, and watch this move by the 60 of Mears down to the inside. He takes away the 3rd spot through turns 1 and 2 off the 61 of Max McLaughlin. Now the sights set on the 09 of Stephen Parsons. Mears practically driving with a death wish as he sees the opportunity for an automatic advancement into the championship for Atlanta, just 2 spots in front of him. And on lap 146, after having so much lap traffic to deal with all day long, it's refreshing to see the entire top 7, 1st through 7th, running nose to tail on the racetrack, all the way from Ryan Truex down to Will Rogers on the lead lap. And we had a very dicey moment on lap 152. Watch the number 55 of Ty Majeski racing with his teammate right there. He accidentally clips the number 3 truck of Brandon McReynolds up into his teammate, the 12 truck of Christian Eckes. Those two both go up into the outside wall. Peters sees a great opportunity, dives down to the bottom and passes 3 trucks with that move. But we have a couple trucks wad up into the outside wall right there, but fortunately they kept it going and no caution flag came out. And still the number 09 truck of Stephen Parsons is all over the tailgate of the 33 of Ryan Truex, just hoping that he makes a mistake at this point because he's not quite close enough to really try and challenge him for that spot. We currently have 3 trucks within 1 second of the race leader, though, as the 60 of Casey Mears is still right in the thick of this battle. And racing through lap traffic on lap 162, the lap truck of Stuart Friesen makes contact with the second-place runner of Stephen Parsons right there, turns the 09 truck sideways, and he has to catch the flat with his left front tire right there, backing the 09 truck back from the 33 of Ryan Truex. And right there, Friesen also bumps off the 60 of Casey Mears, just really wrestling with that race truck right now. The damage has made that thing handle evilly. And on lap 164, the GMS trucks are starting to make their way back through the field. Zane Smith currently runs in 12th and Sheldon Creed in 13th position. After starting this race on the front row, they have really been mired back in traffic ever since. On lap 165, the 92 truck of Austin Terrio for Brad Keselowski Racing makes the move underneath TJ Bell and takes over the 4th spot, one of the best runs this team's had all season. They've had a very quiet year. They were within points range of making the playoffs this season, but they just barely missed out on it. They really just have not shown race-winning pace all season long. It's good to see this 92 truck running up towards the front. And after a little bit of quiet racing for about 10 laps, lap 177, the lap truck of Brandon McReynolds takes some of that front downforce away from the 33 truck of Truex. Truex overdrives turn number 1. Even gets the right sides up into the asphalt. All the marbles up there. Makes it nearly impossible to turn. And the 09 of Stephen Parsons shoot by down on the inside through turns 3 and 4. To take over the top spot in the closing laps here at Martinsville, going after his first career Camping World Truck Series victory. Obviously the 33 truck was not giving up on the outside. You just really cannot make up time up there. Had to settle for second place at the moment as the battle for third now begins. Really 4 trucks under a blanket now, with 4 trucks within just 3/4 of a second of the race leader. But Casey Mears cuts back in line in 3rd spot, now battling for second as he slides it off turn number 4. And on lap 180, the 60 truck of Casey Mears makes a great entry down to turn number 1, gets to the inside of the 33 truck of Ryan Truex and takes over the 2nd spot. With now just 20 laps to go, separating him from a chance at the championship at Atlanta Motor Speedway if he can make his way around the 09 of Stephen Parsons in these next 20 laps. Lap 181, the 92 truck pulls the bump and run on the 33 of Ryan Truex and takes over that 3rd spot, setting Truex almost up into the outside wall off turn 2 for a 3rd time today. On lap 183, there is so many lap trucks up in front of the 09 of Stephen Parsons that Mears tries to challenge him up on the outside of the racetrack. Once again, the top side does not have nearly the amount of grip as the inside line of the track. Mears settles for second, now getting hounded by the 92 truck of Terrio for 3rd, as we still have 4 trucks within 1 second of the race leader, and all these 4 battling so hard is actually bringing the 40 truck back into the mix. He's just 1.8 seconds off the tailgate of the 09. And as you can tell through all this madness, the playoff contender of Matt Crafton gets put 1 lap down by the race leader with just about 15 laps to go. Still relatively decent finish going on for Crafton. He resides in 18th position. Not exactly stellar, but fortunately for him, quite a few other playoff contenders have already suffered a lot of trouble over the course of this United Rentals 200. And by lap 188, that 09 truck has started gapped the 60 of Casey Mears. That time by, he extended the lead by 0.4 of a second. It's now about 1 second separating the 60 truck from the 09, as Mears now being hounded still by the 92 of Austin Terrio. But on lap 190, we have big trouble on the front straightaway. Timmy Hill gets turned around by the number 14 of Sam Mayer. Coming off of turn number 4, hard into the inside wall, back in front of oncoming traffic. The 2 truck slams hard into him, as well as the playoff contender of Ty Dillon, the 97 of Jesse Little, and the 41 of Dawson Cram. Just another replay of it. The 56 truck gets turned into the inside wall and around on the front straightaway, and just absolutely nowhere for these contenders to go. The track is essentially blocked right there, nose-to-nose contact, head-on collision, And then the playoff contender of Ty Dillon, DNFs right here. Hit in the front end twice right there, making contact with the 2 and then getting slammed by the 97. 41 truck had nowhere to go as well. A lot of damage on these trucks here on the front straightaway at Martinsville. You wouldn't expect to see such big impacts here on such a small speedway, but you're carrying speeds in excess of 100 miles an hour. And when there's a stopped truck on the front straightaway and nowhere to go, well, it makes for an awfully big impact. This crash knocked out 5 trucks from the race. In fact, every single truck involved in it, including the 56 of Timmy Hill, 2 of Sheldon Creed, 31 of Ty Dillon, bring the end of his playoff run in today's race. Then the 97 of Jesse Little and the 41 of Dawson Cram all DNF'd from this crash, setting up a late race shootout out front. And folks, this crash happened right in front of the leaders. There is the 09 truck of Stephen Parsons diving down to the bottom of the stopped number 31 and 2 trucks right there running through the oil of the 97 as well. And the pace car ducks onto pit road with just 6 laps to go here in the United Rentals 200. Casey Mears has a chance at locking himself into the championship for field into the Geico restart zone. And there is the green flag for Stephen Parsons. Here comes Mears, making the move into turn number 1. Catches him by surprise with a good jump on the restart. They go side by side down the back straightaway. Mears going to try and outbreak him as Austin Terrio takes over the 3rd spot, now challenging the 09 for 2nd as Mears is clear of the 09 truck of Stephen Parsons. You know Parsons is going to challenge him, though, as that 09 truck is going for his first career Camping World Truck Series victory, but Mears has got a lot on the line with a chance at a championship if he can hold on to this top spot. There's battling going on all throughout this field at the moment. 45 truck on the inside, chasing after the 33 of Ryan Truex. And the 14 truck of Sam Mayer hit pit road for a flat tire. Now just 2 laps to go. 3 trucks with a chance at the victory, separated by less than 1 second. As we have the 14 of Sam Mayer coming back onto the racetrack up in front of the 60 of Casey Mears. That's going to give the 60 truck some dirty air to deal with, as well as, you recall, Mayer had to get that tire replaced as the white flag now waves here at the Martinsville Speedway for Casey Mears and what could be overall his biggest career victory. He's been in NASCAR for more than 20 years. A winner at the Cup Series and Xfinity Series levels, scored the victory back at Daytona in February, launching his full-time Camping World Truck Series career, and will now be chasing after a championship at Atlanta. Casey Mears wins the United Rentals 200 from Martinsville Speedway. Mears, in dominating fashion, had to earn the victory in the final 5 laps on the restart. Mears with a remarkable victory here at Martinsville. Stephen Parsons comes home a close 2nd place finish once again. Another chance at a victory goes away late, just like what happened at North Wilkesboro. However, at Wilkesboro it was a blown engine for Parsons. Here today gets beat in the final 5 laps on the restart. Austin Terrio brings it home in 3rd position. 45 truck of TJ Bell in 4th, and the 33 of Ryan Truex rounds out your top 5. In a very hard-fought and caution-filled afternoon, an impressive performance by Mears, taking home his 2nd career Camping World Truck Series victory, all of which have been important. One at Daytona, and now a chance at the championship in 3 weeks' time in Atlanta. Casey Mears puts the number 60 for Germain Racing, the Freightliner Chevrolet Silverado, back into victory lane for the 2nd time this season with a very impressive performance here at Martinsville with 70 laps led on the afternoon. How about Stephen Parsons, though? Really showing some great performance in the last few weekends. His contract status with Phoenix Racing was questionable just a few months ago. With a near victory at both North Wilkesboro and now here at Martinsville, I'd say he's looking pretty secure for next season. Austin Terrio, though, he started all the way down in 40th position, climbed his way all the way up to 3rd spot. A very impressive run, especially here at Martinsville, where it is difficult to pass. TJ Bell brings home the 45 truck in 4th position. Good run there for Nice Motorsports. Ryan Truex, who led the most laps on the afternoon with 75 laps, brings home a 5th place finish. He has struggled a little bit recently. It's refreshing to see him come out at least with a good performance here at Martinsville. Will Rogers in the number 40 for Nice Motorsports brings it home in 6th position. Max McLaughlin in 7th spot in the number 61 for Hattori Racing Enterprises. The 23 of Brett Holmes in 8th position. The 42 of Carson Hocevar started all the way down in 35th spot, brings it home in 9th. And Chandler Smith started in 9th and finishes in 10th position. In the end, just 14 trucks finished on the lead lap. Zane Smith, your pole sitter, was the last truck on the lead lap. An honorable mention goes out to Johnny Sauter with a good 12th place finish in his final trip to Martinsville in his full-time Camping World Truck Series career. And so now, here are your playoff standings. Obviously, Casey Mears has won his way into the Championship 4 here today at Martinsville. A very impressive victory. I'd have to say that Mears winning his way into the Championship 4 is a bit of an upset, especially the fact that it did not come at a Superspeedway. The Germain Racing trucks have only won at Superspeedways this season, both at Daytona, with Ty Dillon and Casey Mears, obviously, taking home the victory here today at Martinsville, pretty much the antithesis of a Superspeedway. A very impressive performance out of Mears, showing that veteran experience, practically dominating the race here at Martinsville, winning both stages and the victory in the end. So he clinches a spot in the championship round at Atlanta. Matt Crafton sets 22 points above the cutoff line. He has an awful lot of playoff points, and that's what's really kept him above that cutoff line, even with a tough finish here today at Martinsville, finishing a lap down. Also, Enfinger, the regular season champion, he didn't have the day that he wanted either here at Martinsville, but all those playoff points keeps him +8 above the line at the moment. Austin Hill, this is where things start to get dicey. He sets just 1 point above the cutoff line, then Ty Gibbs just 1 point out of making the Championship 4. Stuart Friesen set 6 points on the outside looking in. Ben Rhodes 8 points out because of all his struggles here today. At least 4 separate accidents, including a blown engine in the end. And that was just in 63 laps. And then finally, Ty Dillon with his rough race here today at Martinsville and DNF. He now sets 12 points out of making the Championship 4. Still easily capable of pointing his way in if he has good runs at Homestead and Talladega, but still, you do not want to be the last guy in the round of 8 after just the first race. It's a little bit disheartening, to say the least. And then just for the fun of it, let's have a look at the point standings among those who have already been eliminated. Christian Eckes still sets best of the rest, currently 9th in points. Then Timothy Peters with a good finish brings his way all the way up to 10th. Brennan Poole in 11th. Sheldon Creed down in 12th now. Dawson Cram also dropping to 13th. Brett Holmes up to 14th, as well as Ryan Truex with his good finish here today, top 5 in 5th position. Moves up to 15th position, with Kligerman dropping all the way down to 16th in points. Then the highest driver who did not make the playoffs whatsoever is the number 92 of Austin Theriault. Then we have the 21 of Zane Smith in 18th position, Todd Gilliland in 19th spot, and then Chandler Smith, who has actually clawed his way all the way up to 20th in point standings. A good late season rally out of that number 46 team after struggling to make so many races earlier on, and really not only struggling to make the races, but struggling in them once they had made them. And so now we move on to the second race of the round of 8 in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, the Baptist Health 200 from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. In the race analysis, the Baptist Health 200 from Homestead-Miami Speedway will take place over the course of 134 laps around this action-packed mile and a half, with stage number 1 coming to its conclusion on lap number 30 and stage 2 meeting its end on lap 60. And folks, this place is progressively banked, meaning as you go up from the bottom to the top in the corners, the banking gets a little bit steeper. Down towards the inside line, where the white line is 18 degrees of banking, then the middle is 19, and up by the wall is 20 degrees of banking. When they reconfigured this place back in 2003, it took this place from being a track where I wouldn't blame you if you brought a pillow and took a nap. That was how poor the racing was, to now it is one of the finest racetracks that NASCAR goes to every single year. That's why it is so late in the playoffs and will set a championship contender here at the conclusion of these 134 laps. And because of that progressive banking, we have multi-groove racing. Obviously, down towards the inside of the track is the tightest way around the facility, the shortest way around, but it has less banking. So that means you can keep your momentum up on the outside line, especially if you can really get your truck right up against the outside wall, obviously without hitting it, that making outside line momentum a very big advantage if you can nail the setup and nail your line at the same time. And folks, this place was reconfigured back in 2003. It has not been resurfaced ever since, so the asphalt's starting to get a little bit worn out. So that means the new tires are, in fact, an advantage here at this facility, unlike what we saw, obviously, at Martinsville, where track position was all that mattered. Here at Homestead, the track is wore out enough, and it gives you enough racing lines to where you can put on tires in the middle of a run and drive your way all the way through the field. And because stage number 2 concludes on lap 60, we have to go all the way to lap 134 before we reach the checkered flag. That means the final stage will have at least one green flag pit stop if we do not get any cautions for at least fuel. Whatever you do on tires, that's your strategy. However, you will have to come down for at least fuel, most likely at least right side tires as well. And this, being a mile and a half, is the most conventional race of the round. Now, that doesn't mean it won't be action-packed. In fact, it almost certainly will be. This is one of the best racetracks we go to, but it's one of the more predictable ones, being a mile and a half, an intermediate-style racetrack, unlike the short-track beating and banging action that we see at Martinsville and the all-out pack racing that we see at Talladega Superspeedway, which is wildly unpredictable. And one more time, win and you are in. It's the round of 8, second race of the round. If you're one of the round of 8 contenders and you want to make this championship 4, the easiest thing you could do for yourself is win here at Homestead-Miami, this being the most conventional race of the round. It lends itself to a driver such as Austin Hill, who's been nearly unstoppable on mile and a halves this season. If he can take the victory here today, that might put him in prime position to take home the championship at Atlanta, which is as well a mile and a half. But any of those 8 contenders, with the exception of Casey Mears, who's already locked himself in, would love to exit this racetrack with the victory so they do not have to worry about Talladega Superspeedway, as that racetrack is incredibly unpredictable with its wild pack racing, and expect a lot of desperate moves to be made on track, not only by drivers who are going after those championship 4 spots, but just contenders who wouldn't normally have a chance at scoring a victory are going to be all in the mess at Talladega. A lot to keep your eyes on there, but you'd rather get the victory here today so you don't have to worry about that mess whatsoever. And in the starting lineup here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, Carson Hosevars won the pole for the Baptist Health 200, with Stuart Friesen qualifying in second position, being the highest qualified playoff contender. Then we have Grant Enfinger in third, Matt Crafton in fourth, all 3 of those contenders running for the championship. Brett Moffitt in his final Truck Series start of the year in 5th position. Spencer Davis with a good qualifying run in 6th spot. Max McLaughlin in 7th position, Mason Mingus in 8th spot, David Reagan, the Darlington race winner, in 9th position, and Cameron Haley rounding out your top 10. Other notable starters include the 09 of Stephen Parsons from 11th, the 46 of Chandler Smith from 12th position, the playoff contender of Ty Dillon starting in 13th spot, Johnny Sauter in the 13 truck starting in 15th position, then the 26 of Chase Purdy starts from 17th position. The number 51 of Greg Biffle back in the field, the 2000 Series champion, he will start from 20th position. The number 41 of Dawson Cram from 22nd. The number 44 of James Busher, the 2012 Series champion and North Wilkesboro race winner, will roll off from 23rd. The number 2 truck of Sheldon Creed, who's moving up to the Cup Series next season, he qualifies in 24th position. The number 99 of Ben Rhodes, the playoff contender, will start from 25th. The 56 of Timmy Hill will start from 26th position. Timmy Hill's team has bought a few trucks off of Germain Racing to run over these last final few races, this being one of them, and they have made the field starting in 26th position. Already that new equipment starting to show itself. Then we have the number 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek, who DNQ'd last time out of Martinsville. Now he qualifies down in 27th, so that organization does need to work on their qualifying program. Then we have the playoff contender, the number 16 of Austin Hill, uncharacteristically qualifying very low for a intermediate racetrack. He will start down in 28th position. Then we have the 38 of Todd Gillen, who missed out on last week's race. He qualifies a 38 truck in 29th spot. Then the 60 of Casey Mears. He's already locked into the championship for these next 2 races, just going after the trophy. So he does not have to worry about points, but he qualifies down in 30th here for the Baptist Health 200. Then we have the 12 of Christian Eckes in 31st position. The number 6 of Nick Sanchez down in 32nd. The number 87 in 33rd spot, that being Timothy Peters. The number 18 of Ty Gibbs, the playoff contender, will start down in 34th. The number 3 truck of Brandon McReynolds from 35th position. Then we have the number 14 of Sam Mayer from 36th. And the number 33 of Ryan Truex starting all the way down in 38th starting position. All the drivers who failed to make today's Baptist Health 200 from Homestead-Miami Speedway include the number 8 truck of Camden Murphy, The 15 of Tanner Gray still continuing to struggle in qualifying. The number 19 of Derek Kraus. And take a listen to this. The number 21 of Zane Smith, the 23 of Brett Holmes, and the 24 of Raphael Lassard all missed out on the field. A very tough qualifying session for GMS Racing, with 3 of their 5 trucks missing the field altogether. And we also had the number 22 truck of Austin Wayne Self fail to make the starting grid. Those are all the contenders who did not make the Baptist Health 200 here from Homestead. And at the drop of the green flag, the field was already using up every inch of the asphalt here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. I mentioned numerous times this place has multi-groove racing. We'll watch this through turns 1 and 2. Ty Dillon all the way down towards the apron. 25 of Mason Mingus up towards the wall, and Enfinger going 3 wide for the top spot. Coming off of turn number 2, a 3-wide battle for the race lead. Outside line momentum prevails with the 52 truck of Stuart Friesen clearing the field as the 42 of Carson Hosefar tries to dive in on the outside, as well as the 98 of Enfinger on the bottom. 52 truck holds momentum coming off of turn number 4 to lead lap number 1. Farther back, David Reagan trying to make a move all the way towards the apron of the racetrack, advancing his way close to the top 5. And by lap number 2, the top 2 contenders here at Homestead-Miami Speedway are playoff contenders, with Stuart Friesen out front, Grant Enfinger assuming second spot as the pole sitter of Carson Hosefar starts to drop back through the middle. And Spencer Davis impressively taking over that third spot up off the top side. On lap number 4, we had some playoff contenders running in a bit of a hornet's nest towards the back of the field. There's Ty Gibbs running down in 32nd position. Coming off turn 2, he gets clipped by the number 33 of Ryan Truex and sent down into the 14 of Sam Mayer. That turns the 14 up into the 60 of Casey Mears, who fortunately for him is not racing for points. Number 18 almost gets turned around right there, gets it corrected, but gets hit by the 12 of Christian Eckes. Eckes piles into the 60, and the 97 of Jesse Little hits into the 14 of Sam Mayer. The caution flag waves on lap number 4, with 2 playoff contenders already involved in it. But as I've already mentioned, the 60 truck is locked into the championship 4. This is a bigger impact to the number 18 of Ty Gibbs, who had a rough race at Martinsville, and now already wrapped up in an accident by lap number 4. On lap number 5, we have a slight split in pit strategy as the 42 of Hocevar, 13 of Johnny Sauter, 26 of Chase Purdy, quite a few others, including the playoff contenders of Ben Rhodes and Casey Mears, all hit pit road while the rest of the field stays out. So we still have Friesen leading above Enfinger and Spencer Davis. And the number 18 truck of Ty Gibbs was able to get off pit road still on the lead lap, so he is still obviously in contention here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. However, his damage will likely impact his performance here at Homestead. This is a very aero-dependent racetrack, and already having damage is going to put him at a pretty significant disadvantage, I'd imagine. But on the second lap under the caution flag, we have race leader Stuart Friesen duck onto pit road, including the 17 of David Reagan, 25 of Mason Mingus, the playoff contenders of Ty Gibbs and Austin Hill. Also all ducked down pit road, including several others, and the 18 truck of Ty Gibbs down pit road for the second time to get some damage repair. So that now means that Grant Enfinger is in fact your race leader, above the 11 of Spencer Davis and the 45 of Brett Moffitt. Already some interesting pit strategy going on early in the Baptist Health 200. Lap 7, the 52 truck of Stuart Friesen comes back into pit road. They had a loose wheel on the 52 truck from their pit stop. A big mistake already. That's going to force Friesen to restart all the way down in 39th position, tail end. And so the green flag flies once again on lap number 9 for Grant Enfinger. And remember how at Martinsville we had so many restart violations? Well, guess what? We had one here at Homestead. The 18 truck of Ty Gibbs, who was already damaged, misses a shift on the restart. The 51 truck of Greg Biffle, his teammate, jumps all the way down to the inside to try and pass some of these checking up trucks coming to the start-finish line. But you see that right there? He passes the 25 truck before he gets to the line. That leads to Biffle getting a black flag from NASCAR, and he will have to serve a green flag stop and go. And serving the stop-and-go penalty costs Biffle 1 lap. On lap number 10, Stephen Parsons of the number 09 truck for Phoenix Racing moves up to the top side of the racetrack, rolls great momentum coming off of turn number 2, pulls off the same move through turns 3 and 4. Right there, gets his way around the 11 of Spencer Davis, now in a dogfight with the 45 truck of Brett Moffitt for second spot. Those two running side by sides allowed the number 98 of Enfinger to get away with the race lead at the moment. But that outside line is very much preferred if you can get your truck to roll that top side. And right now, the 09 of Stephen Parsons is succeeding in doing that. Battling the 45 truck for second right there. Moffitt clears him. Leaves just enough room for him to challenge him once again, and now they are nose to tail. There's the 51 truck of Biffle coming back up onto the racetrack after serving his penalty. Moffitt now in second spot, as you see the 88 of Crafton going up towards the outside wall, trying to get his way around the 92 of Austin Terrio. Lap number 12, the 09 truck of Stephen Parsons goes back up to the top side off turn 2, rolls that momentum as the 2 truck farther back of Sheldon Creed goes 4 wide on the field, and the 09 of Stephen Parsons takes over that second spot through turns 3 and 4. With his sights set on the number 98 of Grant Enfinger, as Enfinger's teammate Matt Crafton climbing his way up through this field, now cracking the top 5 on lap number 12. And just watch this lap by the number 75 of Parker Kligerman. Goes right up towards the top. Goes 3 wide for third spot on the number 92 of Austin Terrio and the 45 of Brett Moffitt. Makes that move work through turns 1 and 2 right here, making his way all the way up to third spot. Now is trying to set up a move up to the outside of the 09 of Stephen Parsons. Gets to the outside of him, side drafts him, dragging that 09 truck back just a little bit, edging right up in front of him, coming down to turn number 3. And that tied number 75 truck emerges with second position at the end of lap number 15 from 5th to 2nd in less than a mile and a half. And you know what? By lap number 16, the 52 truck of Stuart Friesen has gone nowhere. He is stuck all the way down in the 35th position and has made nearly no progress since the restart. It looks like track position and losing it in the case of the 52 truck has really been detrimental to them so far. Lap number 19, the 88 truck of Matt Crafton gets a great run off of turn number 2. Just take a look at this momentum that he carries on the 75 truck. Kligerman rightfully pulls down and just lets the 88 truck get up to his outside because he was carrying so much momentum. He just would have ran over the 75 truck if he wouldn't have let Crafton have the outside line right there, but it cost him through turns 3 and 4. On lap number 20, the lap truck of Greg Biffle trying to slice his way through the field to get back on the lead lap. Pushes up the racetrack just a little bit and makes a little bit of contact with the left rear quarter panel of the pole sitter of Carson Hocevar. Fortunately, they all keep it together. Coming off of the 4th turn is the 88 truck of Matt Crafton. Now starting to roll that outside line momentum. Getting a run on the 75 of Kligerman. Really sails it off into turn number 1 and will clear the number 75 of Kligerman. Matt Crafton makes it a 1-2 right now for 4 Sport Racing, as they're trying to take 3 of the 4 spots in the Championship 4. And you know what? This has been an uncharacteristic day for Austin Hill. He currently runs all the way down in 23rd position. You'd expect him to be right towards the front of the field, especially at a mile and a half that he's been so dominant on this season. However, his teammate, Max McLaughlin, runs in 6th position. Watch this move by John Hunter Nemechek on lap number 22. The 46 is running the outside line. That's his teammate right there. Nemechek sees some room even closer to the outside wall and just barely gets squeezed up into the wall by his teammate Chandler Smith, but he makes the move stick and passes actually 4 trucks by jumping up towards the outside wall right there on lap 22. Lap 23, Matt Crafton enters turn number 3 just a little bit low and allows that 75 truck to carry that momentum up on the outside line, and Parker Kligerman will take away the 2nd position on lap number 23. The 98 of Enfinger, though, still controlling this field as it's a hornet's nest behind him. Lap 26, the 26 truck of Chase Purdy takes the air off the rear spoiler of the 75, and they nearly make contact right there while racing for 2nd spot. As you can tell, the 31 of Ty Dillon making his name known up towards the front right now, running in 5th position. Lap 27, the 11 truck of Spencer Davis jumps up to the outside to try to go after 2nd spot, but the 26 of Chase Purdy makes it stick through the middle. A 3-truck battle for 2nd. In the closing laps of stage number 1 through turns 3 and 4. The 11 truck of Spencer Davis is going to try and hold that high side momentum. Going to try and pick up that throttle a little bit earlier and stay in it for longer. As the 11 carries that momentum to the start-finish line, the 26 held it at the stripe, but the 11 of Spencer Davis is going to take it away through turns 1 and 2. And we have some playoff drivers get into it on lap number 29. The 52 truck of Stuart Friesen runs right up onto the tailgate of the 99 of Ben Rhodes and nearly turns him around coming off of turn number 2, sends him down to the bottom. Rhodes does a good job at catching that number 99 truck. And after Grant Enfinger has dominated stage number 1, with less than 2 laps to go in the first stage, watch this move by the number 11. Jumps up to the outside, the 98, and pulls that 98 truck back. Takes some of the air off the rear spoiler, gets side by side with him, and slows him up just enough to clear him on the front straightaway with the white flag waving in stage number 1. And the floodgates open on the number 98 of Enfinger, now being challenged by the 87 of Timothy Peters, as Spencer Davis is trying to take home his first career stage victory. 98 of Enfinger, though, still challenging him down on the inside. They run side by side down the back straightaway. 87 of Timothy Peters still in the mix. Here they come through turns 3 and 4. The 11 of Davis going to try and hold high side momentum. 98 of Enfinger going to try and pull back up on the inside, but he gets a little bit loose coming off of turn 4. 11 and 87 trucks clear him, and Spencer Davis wins stage number 1 here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. A very exciting finish to stage number 1 here at Homestead. Spencer Davis wins it in his very own number 11 truck, besting the number 98 of Grant Enfinger, who fell all the way down to 3rd. The 87 of Timothy Peters got it in 2nd spot. The 26 of Chase Purdy in 4th position, and the 4 of John Hunter Nemechek all the way up to 5th spot. Good run so far for Purdy. This season has struggled to qualify quite a bit. Ironically, 3 of his 4 teammates failed to make today's race, but he's made today's showing and is running pretty well so far in 4th position. But as I mentioned that about the number 26 of Chase Purdy, under the caution flag period as the field was slowing up just after the intense green flag racing, the 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek accidentally makes contact with the 26 as Purdy comes down as the 4 truck comes up, and the 42 trucks on their inside, so there's really nowhere they can go from that point. 26 and 4 trucks squeeze together. The 26 of Purdy goes around and up into the outside wall, spinning back down in front of traffic. The 13 of Johnny Sauter gets collected with pretty significant front-end damage on the number 13 truck. An unfortunate situation for both contenders, but especially for that number 13 of Sauter with a lot of front-end damage. But this crash had an accordion effect. Here's some of the tail-end trucks of the field trying to check up for this accident. Right there, you see the 6 of Nick Sanchez and the 41 of Dawson Cram get onto the brakes, slowing up towards about 30 miles an hour right there as the field tries to get checked up. Then the 97 makes contact with the 41. 12 makes contact with the 97. Then the 33 piles in. So now the 97 truck's getting turned around. Here comes the 2 truck of Sheldon Creed. Comes in and slams the number 33 of Ryan Truex, as well as the number 97 of Jesse Little. Fortunately, the 60 of Mears and the 14 of Sam Mayer got checked up in time. But about 5 trucks involved in this accident after the caution flag was already out. And on lap 31, every single lead lap truck hits pit road. And in the race off pit road, the 87 team of Timothy Peters just barely edges out the 11 of Spencer Davis for the top spot. Peters now your race leader above Spencer Davis in the number 11 truck. Then the 4 of John Hunter Nemechek making his way all the way into 3rd position. Number 13 truck of Johnny Sauter now has had the hood removed off of his Vivitar Toyota Tundra following that damage that he suffered under the caution flag. And so the green flag flies for stage number 2 here at Homestead on lap 35. The 88 truck of Matt Crafton had a tough restart as he gets side drafted coming off of turn number 4 on the first lap after the restart. He gets passed by about 4 trucks down the front straightaway, and the bleeding doesn't stop there. Also gets checked up just a little bit through turns 1 and 2, fading quite a bit on this restart. On lap number 38, Grant Enfinger clearly showed to the field that his dominance in stage number 1, though, was not a fluke. Driving from 5th, now up to 2nd. Sees an opportunity as Spencer Davis starts to suck the number 87 truck of Timothy Peters back with the side draft. He dives down to the middle. And Grant Enfinger threads the needle coming into turn number 3 on both the 87 and the 11 truck of Spencer Davis, and takes away that top spot coming off of turn number 4 on lap 38. An impressive performance already here at Homestead. He's trying to win his way into the championship to have nothing to worry about at Talladega Superspeedway. Lap number 39, the 17 truck of David Reagan takes over the second spot for LGR. And as you can tell, Todd Gilliland's starting to make his way through the field, and having Reagan, Gilliland, and the 87 of Timothy Peters all up towards the front, it's been a very good day so far for the Fords. On lap number 42, watch the 38 truck of Todd Gilliland start this lap down in 5th position. Uses that outside line momentum right there to go 3 wide for the 3rd spot. Goes up even higher to get up to the outside of the 17 of David Reagan. Carries that great outside line momentum coming onto the front straightaway to assume that 2nd spot. As the 88 of Matt Crafton still all the way down towards the bottom. Getting the exit of his corners kind of choked off in many ways because he can't use that top side momentum. And on lap number 44, we have a crash through turns 1 and 2. The number 30 truck of Brendan Poole, the moment he lifts off the throttle pedal, engine explodes on him coming down to turn number 1. He's trying to get down to the inside of the racetrack. He's got oil on the rear wheels already. Makes contact with the 99 of Ben Rhodes right there, the playoff contender. Still trying to get down to the bottom. The 40 truck of Will Rogers is there. And so the 30 truck gets turned around. The 3 truck of Brandon McReynolds went all the way down onto the apron right there to miss it. And then the 42, 55, 13 of Sauter pile in. This happens right up in front of the 60 of Mears, who just barely threads the needle right there. Not so lucky for the 2 truck of Sheldon Creed as the hole closed and he piles right into the mess. This crash knocks out both the 2 of Sheldon Creed and the 30 of Brendan Poole out of the race here at Homestead. And here's the onboard from the number 60 of Casey Mears. Really just luck involved on this one. Right there's the 30 blowing up, the field piling into the mess. And watch this hole just dissipate for the number 60 of Casey Mears. Absolutely incredible right there for Mears to be able to avoid that one. Just look at how this 60 truck comes within inches of being wiped out on both sides. Right there, the 13 and the 42. Incredible, but the hole closes for the 2 truck, and he slams directly into both the 42 and 13 trucks. That just shows you how a fraction of a second can change your whole race right there. On lap 45, we have some damaged trucks hitting the pits, including the number 99 of Ben Rhodes, the 13 of Johnny Sauter, and the 55 of Ty Majeski. And the green flag waves once again on lap number 49 for Grant Enfinger. And coming through turns 3 and 4, the 38 truck of Todd Gilliland jumps up to the outside and manages to take advantage of just a slight bobble out of the number 98 truck of Enfinger. His truck takes a few laps to get fully up to speed, and right there, side drafts that right rear quarter panel of the 98 of Enfinger, pitching him down through turns 1 and 2. Todd Gilliland in that number 38 truck holds that outside line momentum coming off the second corner, and he takes away the top spot down the back straightaway. Fellow Ford follows him into second position, that being the 87 of Timothy Peters up on the outside. And on lap 51, watch this move by the 87 of Peters. Sails it off into turn number 3. Jumps up to the outside of the 38 of Gilliland. And pulls off practically the same move Gilliland pulled to take away the race lead. Right here, actually gets some help from the 61 of Max McLaughlin. And takes away the top spot through turns 1 and 2 as the 38 truck still led that lap. They still run side by side, but the outside line momentum prevails off the second corner, propelling the 87 truck into the top spot. And the 61 McLaughlin takes over second. On lap number 54, racing through turns 3 and 4, the 98 of Enfinger actually makes a little bit of contact with the right rear quarter panel of the 17 of David Reagan while trying to get down and side draft him. Lap 57, we had 4 trucks under a blanket going after the 87 truck of Timothy Peters, and watch this move by David Reagan. Through turn 1 and 2, 17 truck just barely slides up into a hole that almost wasn't there to clear himself right up in front of the 61 of Max McLaughlin. That was a very gutsy move by Reagan right there. Fortunately, gives him a little bit of room coming into turn 3. Otherwise, I think the 61 might have sent him for a ride. But as you can tell right there, the 17 of Reagan tries to work his way to the inside, the 87 of Peters, but Peters holds the top side momentum. And so the white flag now waves for Timothy Peters in stage number 2 as the 31 of Ty Dillon now is up into the mix going after second spot on the 61 of McLaughlin. As 61 runs up the racetrack trying to get that outside momentum on the 87 of Peters. 87 truck leaves the top side open. Here they come. It's going to be a battle coming back to the start-finish line. 61 truck tries to sail it off into the corner. They go side by side off of the fourth turn. 87 going to try and hold that inside line, but the 61 is going to have the momentum coming back to the stripe. At the line, nearly too close to call for the stage victory. Scoring gives it. And we're still waiting on the update. The 61 of Max McLaughlin has been determined as the stage number 2 winner here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. An incredible battle coming back to the green and white checkered flag. The 61 truck gets it above the number 87 of Timothy Peters. The 88 of Matt Crafton took over the 3rd spot. The 75 of Parker Kligman in 4th. And the 31 of Ty Dillon in 5th position. And here's just how close it was coming back to the start-finish line. 61 of McLaughlin holds that momentum up off the outside line. 87 of Peters trying to stay with him. Unlike what we saw here back in 2012 with Cale Gale and Kyle Busch, there was no incentive to wreck your race truck at the moment. So they kept it clean, racing back to the green and white checkered flag. And the 61 of McLaughlin edges out the 87 of Timothy Peters at the start-finish line by about half a truck length. Stepped a little bit closer with our forward shot, obviously, but still a very tight battle. Photo finish, I might add, for the end of stage number 2 here at Homestead. Incredible racing already, but still we have the most important final stage up in front of us, which may just determine one of the contenders for the championship at Atlanta. And under the caution flag period at the conclusion of stage number 2, absolutely nobody came down pit road. So that confirms the fact that unless we get a caution flag in the final stage, we will definitely be seeing some type of green flag pit stops. Now, we did have just one truck come down pit road, that being the 52 of Stuart Friesen. As I've mentioned, they've had a very hard time climbing their way back through the field. You got to try and do something. So his crew chief, John Leonard, made a gutsy call, bring him into the pit road for 4 fresh tires to see how he can do, if he can claw his way through the field during this green flag period, maybe go off strategy just enough to where when trucks come down pit road, maybe they'll catch a caution and really be in a good position to win this race. And so the green flag waves for the final stage here at Homestead on lap number 65. And watch this run by Ty Dillon on lap number 66 as the 87 truck tries to get down to the bottom of the 61 of McLaughlin. 61 truck powers past him, but the 88 of Matt Crafton gets a little bit loose down on the bottom. 31 truck of Ty Dillon clears the 98. Now trying to get his way around the 75 and is challenging the 88 of Matt Crafton for 3rd spot. Right there through turns 3 and 4, the 31 truck takes over the 3rd position. Now running after the 87 of Timothy Peters for 2nd as the 61 of McLaughlin has cleared the field once again. Now through turns 1 and 2, the 31 truck of Ty Dillon moves up to the outside of the racetrack trying to run down the 87 of Peters. And through turns 3 and 4 on lap number 67, the 31 truck of Dillon takes over that 2nd spot, trying to win his way into the championship 4 after a tough DNF at Martinsville. Lap number 70, the 38 truck of Todd Gillen gets a great run coming off of turn number 2. Gets up to the outside, the 31 of Ty Dillon. But watch this run, he gets through 3 and 4, clears the 31 truck. The 61 of McLaughlin got a little bit loose, allowing the 38 truck to carry that outside line momentum, going from 3rd to 1st on lap number 70. Gillen now out front. And on lap number 71, those fresh tires are starting to benefit the 52 truck of Stuart Friesen as he lets the rough side drag through turns 3 and 4 right there, getting around the 56, 4, and 45 trucks on those brand new 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles. Lap 72, the 31 truck of Ty Dillon gets the run coming off of turn number 2 on the 38 of Todd Gilland. Gets side by side with him coming down into turn number 3. Carries that outside line momentum that makes the inside truck just a little bit loose. They go side by side on the exit of turn number 4, and the 31 truck of Ty Dillon clears the 38 of Gillen down the front straightaway to lead here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway, going after that championship 4 advancement. Lap 75, the 38 and 31 trucks get to battling once again, and watch this power move by the 38 of Gilland coming down to turn number 1. Sails the truck off into turn 1 and actually clears Ty Dillon on the inside of the racetrack, pulling off practically a slide job, working his way up towards the top side of the racetrack. Gillen back out front here in the Baptist Health 200. However, the 31 truck wasn't done. Watch this move on lap 76. Picks up the throttle early up on the outside. 38 truck of Gillen running the bottom, and the 31 of Ty Dillon just sails his way right by him. Down the back straightaway, Ty Dillon back out front. A great battle here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway for the top spot. And the brilliance of putting on tires for the number 52 team of Stuart Friesen was really starting to show itself by lap number 77 as Friesen got his way to the inside of the 09 truck of Stephen Parsons, cracking his way up into the top 10. Beforehand, before they went for this tire call, they were struggling all day long for track position. Now they've broken their way into the top 10 already and have a good chance of taking the lead on those fresh tires. On lap 78, the 87 truck of Timothy Peters is having fuel pickup problems. Essentially, the truck is cutting out down the back straightaway like it's running out of gas. Right there, checks up a lot of the field, including drivers such as Grant Enfinger and Stuart Friesen. Cuts right down to the bottom of the racetrack and comes down pit road to try and get that fuel pickup problem addressed. On lap number 81, the race leader of Ty Dillon gets stuck in line behind the lap truck and pole sitter of Carson Hocevar. David Reagan uses him as a pickup on the outside line, and Reagan takes away the top spot off of turn number 2 as Ty Dillon loses almost 1 second on the leader already. On lap number 81, the 25 truck of Mason Mingus opens up the pit window, and by the way, the 87 truck of Timothy Peters is back out onto the racetrack. However, he is 2 laps behind the race leader. Also following the 25 truck down pit road is the 40 of Will Rogers. And on lap number 82, the race leader of David Reagan ducks down pit road, as well as the number 38 of Todd Gilliland. Handing the race lead over to the 75 truck of Parker Kligerman, also another 4 down pit road, that being Haley Deegan. On lap number 83, the 31 truck of Ty Dillon, who was running in 5th position, hits pit road. He also has a couple of trucks follow him in, including the playoff contender of Austin Hill. The 2 playoff contenders down pit road, and the 44 of James Busher hits the pits as well. However, we have trouble on lap number 84 in the middle of the pit cycle. Watch this as the number 87 truck of Timothy Peters on those fresh tires makes his way up to the outside of the 33 truck of Ryan Truex, makes contact with him coming into turn number 1 as the 33 slows up a little bit more than he anticipated, and the 13 of Johnny Sauter was there. Just an unfortunate bystander in this mess, gets collected up in it. 87, 33, and 13 trucks all spin around up against the outside wall in turn 1, and this crash actually ends up taking the number 13 of Johnny Sauter out of tonight's Baptist Health 200. And this caution could not have come at a better time for the number 31 of Ty Dillon, because he got his full service, 4 tires and fuel down pit road. However, he beat the pace car. So what that means is he is still on the lead lap, but does not have to come down pit road under this caution. Ty Dillon is going to cycle out as the race leader. However, this caution was a horrendously tough break for drivers such as David Reagan, Todd Gilliland, Mason Mingus, Haley Deegan, the playoff contender of Austin Hill, and several others, as they are now trapped 1 lap down. And on lap 85, Parker Kligerman leads all the lead lap trucks who have yet to come into the pits down pit road. And the first truck out of the pits was Kligerman, getting out in front of the 11 of Spencer Davis and the 61 of Max McLaughlin. They will restart behind the number 31 of Ty Dillon, who is now your race leader due to an absolutely perfectly timed caution. There's also going to be a full 7 lap trucks restarting right in front of the number 31 truck of Ty Dillon on this restart, because they have already come down pit road. They did not have to come back down pit road for service, so they're going to stay out there now listed tail end of the lead lap, hoping for another caution to get back on the lead lap as the green flag waves on lap number 89. And through turns 1 and 2, the 31 of Ty Dillon uses the lap truck of Will Rogers as a perfect pick on the number 75 of Kligerman, dropping the second place runner about half a second back from the tailgate of the 31 already after just half a lap. On lap 91, the playoff contender of Grant Enfinger goes 3 wide up on the outside of the lap truck of James Busher and the lead lap truck of Max McLaughlin, taking over the 3rd position, with the 75 truck of Kligerman starting to run down the 31 of Ty Dillon. Lap 92, the 75 truck of Kligerman gets side by side with the 31 of Ty Dillon coming off of turn number 2, but pushes just a little bit on the exit of the corner, drops back, and the 31 of Dillon holds on to that top spot. Lap 93, the 88 truck of Matt Crafton gets around the 61 of McLaughlin, taking over the 4th position, making it to where 3 of the top 4 contenders right now are racing after a championship 4 advancement. On lap 93, the 31 truck of Ty Dillon gets stuck in line behind the lap truck of Mason Mingus. As Mingus is racing to stay on the lead lap, Dillon goes to the bottom, Kligerman up on the outside, carrying that highline momentum and takes away the top spot here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway on lap 94. And on lap 99, the 98 truck of Enfinger made his way down to the inside of the 75 of Kligerman. These two got to battling side by side. However, Kligerman prevailed off of turn number 2, carrying that highline momentum as the 98 truck got a little bit loose. On lap 99, we fittingly had trouble for the number 99 truck. The playoff contender of Ben Rhodes practically gets dumped entering turn number 1 by the 4 truck of Nemechek. I believe that Nemechek miscalculated his turn in and clipped the right rear quarter panel of the 99 truck, sending him up into the outside wall and around, bringing out the yellow flag. Fortunately for Ben Rhodes, though, he was not impacted by anyone getting that 99 truck corrected. Bit of a close moment, though, with the 12 truck of Christian Eckes. And racing back to the caution flag, we had a battle side by side between the 98 and 75 trucks. Kligerman gets it at the stripe, and both the 17 and 38 trucks of Reagan and Gilliland are back on the lead lap. And on lap 100, both the 4 truck of Nemechek and the 99 of Ben Rhodes come down pit road. However, they both remain in the race. And the green flag waves once again on lap 104 here in the Baptist Health 200 at Homestead. On lap 106, the 98 truck of Enfinger tried to get side by side with the 75 of Kligerman. Watch this move. The 2 Chevrolets of Ty Dillon and Mark Kligerman tandem down the back straightaway to work their way past the 98 of Enfinger, with Ty Dillon taking over second. Lap 108, the 31 truck of Ty Dillon gets side by side with the 75 as we have 4 trucks under a blanket for the top spot. Dillon makes the move through turns 3 and 4 as the 75 truck gets a little bit loose. 31 goes up to the top spot as the 98 of Enfinger now jumps up to the outside of the 75, trying to take over second, and he does so. 88 of Crafton also up on the outside line. 3 playoff trucks in the top 5 right now. And the 52 truck of Stuart Friesen is not that far behind. Lap 109, watch this run by the 98 of Enfinger through turns 3 and 4. Jumps up to the outside of the 31 of Dillon. Goes side by side with him, and at the start-finish line, Enfinger is now back out front. As one of the best trucks here at Homestead, but he has not won either stage yet. Trying to win the most important stage, that being the final one, as the top 3 contenders are now racing for a championship. Matt Crafton up on the outside, going to try and take over that second spot, working with his Thor Sport Racing teammate, and he does so coming into turn 3. On lap 112, the 31 truck of Ty Dillon sails off into turn number 3, gets up to the outside, the 88 of Crafton, and once again takes over that second spot in the 31 truck for Germain Racing. On lap 116, the 61 truck of Max McLaughlin has really started to make that top side work through turns 3 and 4 as he gets his way around the 09 of Stephen Parsons, 11 of Spencer Davis, and the 75 of Parker Kligerman in just 2 sets of corners, all the way up to 4th position, challenging the playoff contenders out front. On lap 116, through turns 1 and 2, Matt Crafton goes off into the corner, and he has a flat right rear tire. A very tough break for Crafton, racing for that championship. After a tough run at Martinsville, he was running in 3rd position, but now he's going to drop at least 1 lap down, coasting his way back to pit road. In what could have been a stellar afternoon for this 88 team, all going awry here in the final 30 laps. And Matt Crafton checking up the field with that blown tire has allowed the number 61 of Max McLaughlin to take over the 3rd spot from the 31 of Ty Dillon. Keep in mind, we are still under green, as, by the way, the 56 of Timmy Hill has driven his way up into 8th position, making his way around even the playoff contender of Austin Hill. Great run going on so far for Timmy, driving that newly purchased Germain Racing equipment. And on lap 118, the 41 truck of Dawson Cram also has a flat tire. on his very own number 41 truck, and the caution flag finally does wave as we've had 2 flat tires in the span of about 2 laps. However, Matt Crafton in the number 88 Flex Seal Toyota Tundra does now set 1 lap behind the race leader. As time is running out, odds are Crafton is not going to get his lap back before the end of this race. Really, the highest position he could finish in is about 26th position. And so the green flag waves with just 12 laps to go here in the Baptist Health 200 from Homestead-Miami Speedway. The number 98 truck gets off to a great jump on the restart, almost off to about a 0.3 of a second lead. As down the back straightaway, now a battle begins for second spot with the 31 of Ty Dillon hounding the number 61. On lap 125 with an inside line pass on the 61 of McLaughlin, Ty Dillon takes over that second spot. Top 2 contenders once again racing for a championship, as the 52 of Stuart Friesen racing his way up into this front pack, trying to go through the middle for the 3rd spot. And on lap 127 up on the outside line, the 61 truck of Max McLaughlin takes over the 2nd spot off the 31 of Ty Dillon. On lap 129, the 31 truck of Ty Dillon gets loose, having the lap truck of Greg Biffle up on his outside. Wiggles just a little bit coming off of turn number 2 and drops back through the middle, as the number 11 of Spencer Davis has made his way back towards the front of the field and actually has a shot at winning this thing. And on lap 131, the 61 truck of McLaughlin is closing on the 98 of Grant Enfinger. You see the 88 truck of Matt Crafton on the inside on those fresh tires, racing to get his lap back. Right here, the 61 of McLaughlin gets up to the outside of the 98 of Enfinger, going side by side for the top spot. 61 truck takes away the race lead through turns 3 and 4 as the 98 truck has to take that lower line down on the bottom. Here comes the 88 of Matt Crafton. He'll certainly make a difference in this battle for the lead. He's trying to get up to the outside of the 61 to get his lap back. Crafton going to force the 61 truck down the racetrack, going to run the middle as the 98 gets pinned down all the way on the bottom. Enfinger loses a lot of his momentum coming off of turn number 2. 61 of McLaughlin out front. The 31 truck of Ty Dillon's going to take over second. 88 of Crafton going to try and get his lap back right here through turns 3 and 4. Going to really sail it off up on the outside line and slide his way right past the 61. That's probably going to be the last the leaders are going to see of him. 88 truck on fresh tires will be strong. However, if we get a caution flag, it'll have to be on this lap to get a green-white checker. Otherwise, the 88 truck will be completely out of contention. He is going to finish on the lead lap, though, if he stays where he is. We're going to have a battle in the closing laps. Here comes the 31 of Ty Dillon. 1.5 laps to go here at Homestead-Miami. McLaughlin going for his first career Camping World Truck Series victory, and Ty Dillon racing for a chance at the Championship 4. Spencer Davis going 3 wide up on the outside line farther back. The white flag is in the air for the 61 of McLaughlin. We're getting set up for yet another side-by-side finish. McLaughlin was able to carry that outside line momentum to win stage number 1. Right now being pressured by both the 31 and the 98. As both Enfinger and Ty Dillon would love to advance to the Championship 4 here tonight. Here they come through turns 3 and 4, running side by side. 98 truck of Enfinger possibly going to make it 3 wide. Here they come. It's going to be a drag race back to the start-finish line. 61 holds the momentum once again. And it's barely the 61 of Max McLaughlin to take home the victory. Max McLaughlin wins his first career NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race, holding off the championship contenders of both Ty Dillon and Grant Enfinger. McLaughlin goes to victory lane by an official finishing margin of 14 one-thousandths of a second above the 31 of Ty Dillon. An incredible race here at Homestead-Miami. 2 photo finishes for both the second and final stages. And McLaughlin wins in his part-time rookie season for Hattori Racing Enterprises, while this team would have rather had their full-time and championship contender Austin Hill take the victory, get a chance at the Championship 4. Their dominance on mile-and-a-halfs as an organization continues, with McLaughlin taking home his first career victory here today at the Homestead-Miami Speedway with a remarkable finish. And also, I should mention, the number 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek was running out of gas coming to the checkered flag. Ended up finishing right about 20th position, but he ran out of gas after the checkers and was actually sputtering coming to them. He was the only truck to cut it that close on fuel mileage. And so Max McLaughlin has taken home the victory, and I think what we could call one of the best Camping World Truck Series races of the season. Here in the Baptist Health 200 from Homestead-Miami Speedway, a 14 1,000th of a second separation at the start-finish line between McLaughlin and Ty Dillon. Dillon just barely misses out on automatic advancement into the Championship 4 by such a close margin. And the third-place runner was pretty much the most dominant truck of the afternoon. Grant Enfinger led a race-high 56 laps, was really untouchable when he was on his game, but that truck both didn't seem to be very fast in the short run nor the long run. It was somewhere around 20 or so laps. That truck really could not be bested. But once he got into the 30-lap runs or so, it started to fall off, and that's where drivers such as Spencer Davis and Max McLaughlin really ended up beating him there in the end. But Grant Enfinger started that truck in third position, finishes it in third, a good point stay in his quest for making the Championship 4. Spencer Davis with a great run, a stage victory, and a fourth-place finish. Stephen Parsons brings the 09 truck home in fifth position. Parker Kligerman in sixth spot. Stuart Friesen in seventh with a good points night. Timmy Hill with a great eighth-place finish in that Germain Racing built truck. Austin Terrio in ninth position. And Brett Moffitt rounding out the top 10 in his final Truck Series start of the season. And so here are your playoff standings following the race here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Obviously, Casey Mears still locked in to the Championship 4 because of his victory at the Martinsville Speedway. Grant Enfinger with his third-place finish now sets 18 points above the cutoff line. Matt Crafton with his blown tire late in the race ended up having his advantage above the cutoff line cut from 22 points to just 9 points above. That's a very uncomfortable margin coming into the unpredictable Talladega Superspeedway. And Stuart Friesen with his seventh-place finish now sets 1 point above the cutoff line. We have Ty Dillon, because of missing out on the victory by just 14 1,000ths of a second, he sets 1 point out of making the Championship 4. Just one race to go at Talladega. Germain has been exceptionally strong on super speedways. I'd say Talladega is likely his best opportunity to make the Championship 4. Then we have Ty Gibbs, who now sets 12 points on the outside looking in. Gibbs is the spring race winner at Talladega Superspeedway, so don't count him out either. And we also have the 99 of Ben Rhodes, who has really been within the top 5 in points all season long. Had a tough finish here tonight with a crash, and now sets 17 points on the outside of the Championship 4. And Austin Hill uncharacteristically struggling on a mile and a half while his teammate goes to victory lane. Hill now sets as well 17 points out of the Championship 4, coming into their final race of the round of 8 at Talladega Superspeedway for the Chevrolet Silverado 250. And just for the fun of it, here's a look at the point standings of those who have already been eliminated from the playoffs and those who did not make it in general. Currently, the best of the rest is Christian Eckes, setting above Timothy Peters and Brendan Poole. And we have Parker Kligerman picking his way all the way up to 12th in points. Ryan Truex 13th. Sheldon Creed dropping all the way down to 14th in points. He's been struggling as of late. And Dawson Cram sets 15th in points, and Brett Holmes, after his DNQ here at Homestead, now sets 16th in points, the worst of those who have made the playoffs this season. And then the best truck who did not make the playoffs whatsoever is Austin Terrio, who sets 17th in point standings with twice the amount of top 10s above the 18th place runner of Zane Smith. Terrio with 12 top 10s on the season, Zane Smith with just 6. Then we have Todd Gillen driving for Front Row Motorsports, who sets 19th in points, and John Hunter Nemechek, who's made his way back into the top 20. And so now we move on to the final race of the round of 8, the one that officially sets the 4 drivers who will be chasing a championship at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We head on to the Chevrolet Silverado 250 from the Talladega Superspeedway. In the race analysis, the Chevrolet Silverado 250 from Talladega Superspeedway will take place over the course of 94 laps around this 2.66-mile superspeedway in Talladega, Alabama, NASCAR's largest oval. Stage number 1 comes to its conclusion on lap number 20, and stage 2 on lap number 40. And some notes on the package that we'll be running here today at Talladega. It is the same package that we ran at Daytona back in the summer, which does still mean that we are utilizing a high drag package, right about 8 inches of rear spoiler like we always do in the truck series, but that is less than the 9-inch rear spoiler with the 90-degree lip that we ran on it back in the spring here at Talladega. So it is less drag, but still a very high drag package. The biggest difference being that we have about 50 more horsepower over what we had back in the spring. That means throttle response is better. The runs are going to be big, but because of the reduction of downforce over the spring race, they're actually a little bit more controllable. So what it means is you'll be able to actually lift your right foot here at Talladega to slow your truck down and get back onto the throttle to obviously speed yourself back up, instead of, with a lower horsepower package, having to use the brake pedal to slow the vehicle down. Now, because you have that throttle response, you can get back into the throttle and not lose that much from lifting. And because of that addition of horsepower, the slingshots are back. Really, what NASCAR is trying to do is get the package at these super speedways like Daytona and Talladega to be more similar to what we see at places like Texas World Speedway and Michigan, where the slingshot is in effect. The field stays close, but it's not a 100% pack race. While it is very similar to pack racing, you can pop out and make a quick move like what we used to see on the super speedways at Daytona and Talladega back in the pre-restrictor plate era. We want to be safe, as in restrictor plate style speeds, but we do want those slingshots to be back, and NASCAR believes they found a pretty good balance with it. Also, we have the continuation of the no double yellow line rule, so that means you can make a move to the inside of the single yellow line that is on the racetrack here at Talladega Superspeedway, and you will not be penalized for crossing beneath that line. Now, here's what's really important. Here at Talladega, we do have the hard tire compound that we ran at Daytona back in the summer, and Talladega Superspeedway, the surface here is 5 years older than at Daytona. Dating back to 2006 is when this place was repaved, so the surface is actually starting to get old enough to where we were seeing tire wear to begin with on the softer tires. But now, on these hard tire compounds, expect even lifting on the inside rows of the racetrack once we get about 10 laps on the tires. And folks, this place, because of the drafting nature of the racing and the slingshot style passes that you'll be seeing over the course of today, there is no real such thing as a preferred line at Talladega. Now, it has bounced around before between the inside line being preferred to the top side, but really, now, what it ends up being is however many trucks are together in a line, that will be the line that will move the farthest. And in particular, which trucks can get together, and for even a lap or two, you can kind of tandem here in the Camping World Truck Series. So I think we're going to see a combination of slingshots, tandem racing, and pack racing over the course of today's race. A rather exciting way to determine the championship for, to say the least. But I also think that we're going to be seeing an awful lot of lead changes because of the different styles of racing and the fact that there really is no such thing as a preferred line here at Talladega. And this being the final chance at the championship for among those 8 contenders, only one being locked in, and that is Casey Mears. We have 7 drivers contending for just 3 spots. 4 are going to be eliminated. That means you're going to be seeing a lot of desperate moves here at Talladega Superspeedway. A driver that knows they have to make something happen, they're going to try and force it into happening, and a lot of those times we see a big old mess when somebody tries to make something out of nothing. But like I mentioned previously, not only do we have the drivers contending for a championship, but we also have those who would really never have the opportunity of winning a race other than the super speedways on the season. So we have practically the entire field of 42 starters with a rather realistic chance of taking home the victory here today, but obviously only one of them gets the checkered flag, so it's a bit of a dogfight for the top spot. And one last time, it is the playoffs. Win and you're in. This is the final chance to make the championship 4. Any of those 7 contenders behind Casey Mears would love to score their victory into the championship 4 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. However, if you are one of the 7, you could easily do it on points. It would still be a little bit of an added boost to score the victory here at NASCAR's largest oval. And in the starting lineup, how about this? Timmy Hill wins the pole by nearly 1/10 of a second in the number 56 truck. This is yet again another Germain truck that they purchased, and we know Germain Racing's history at these super speedways. They won both races at Daytona this season and ran very well at Talladega. Now another truck that they have previously built sets on the pole here with Timmy Hill behind the wheel. Sam Mayer qualifies the 14 truck for Tony Stewart Racing in second position. James Busher putting the 45 truck for Nice Motorsports in third spot. Stephen Parsons in the number 09 for Phoenix Racing qualifies in fourth position. Todd Gilliland in fifth spot in the 38 truck. Nick Sanchez in his first Camping World Truck Series Superspeedway start will roll off in sixth position, matching his truck number. The 75 of Parker Kligerman from seventh, the 92 of Austin Terrio from eighth position, the 99 of Ben Rhodes in ninth position, and the 12 of Christian Eckes rounding out the top 10. Other notable starters include the number 88 of Matt Crafton rolling off from 11th position, him contending for the championship with just a 9-point advantage above the cutoff line at the moment following that flat tire at Homestead. Then we have Jordan Anderson back in his very own number 3 truck, qualifying in 13th position. Then the 25 truck, another driver-owner, Willie Allen, the 2007 Camping World Truck Series Rookie of the Year Award winner, is driving his very own number 25 truck. Obviously, they fielded in a partnership with Venerity Motorsports. He qualified in 14th position. Mason Mingus will be back in that truck next time out at Atlanta. Then we have the spring race winner and playoff contender of Ty Gibbs qualifying in 15th position. The 16 of Austin Hill matching his truck number in 16th spot. Then we have the 53 of Gray Galding in 19th position. The number 51 truck of Drew Dollar will roll off from 21st position. The 04 of Corey Roper will start from 23rd. The 03 of Scott Legassi Jr. will start from 24th position. Johnny Sauter, a fantastic Superspeedway racer, will roll off in 25th position in what is his final start at Talladega Superspeedway in his full-time Truck Series career. Then we have the playoff contender of Grant Enfinger rolling off in 26th position. The 52, another playoff contender of Stuart Friesen, starting from 27th. The number 17 truck of David Reagan, once again, will start from the 29th position. Then we have the number 9 truck of Cody Rawbaugh, starting in 31st position. The playoff contender of Ty Dillon, starting in 32nd spot. A very low qualifying effort from the number 31 truck. Odds are they were working more on race setup than on qualifying. How about this? The number 58 of Logan Misaraka, who was so strong back at Daytona during Speed Week. She qualifies her truck in 35th position. The number 11 of Spencer Davis qualifies down in 36th. The number 8 of Joe Nemechek, who might be making his final Truck Series start if Nemco does not field a third truck next season, qualifies down in 37th. Then we have another Germain truck, the number 60 of Casey Mears, starting all the way down in 38th position. Really does make you think that Germain focused on race setups here at Talladega. They were not very concerned about qualifying. Then we have the 26 truck of Chase Purdy starting down in 41st position. And finally, the 21 of Zane Smith starting from 42nd. The GMS truck still struggling in qualifying. And so, as you know, the Superspeedway races always have some of the largest entry lists. And here at Talladega, we had 60 trucks entered to make this field. That means that a full 18 trucks went home. And the drivers who failed to make today's Chevrolet Silverado 250 include the 0 of Tate Fogelman, the number 7 of Corbin Forrester, the 10 of Jennifer Jo Cobb, the 00 of Keith McGee, the 02 of Tony Breidinger, the 15 of Tanner Gray, once again a familiar sight with that truck on the DNQ list, the 19 of Derek Kraus, the 20 of Spencer Boyd, the 22 of Austin Wayne Self, the number 24 of Raphael Lassard, and very surprisingly, the number 30 truck of Brendan Poole after On Point Motorsports and Brendan Poole actually won the Geico 500 back in the spring, the NASCAR Cup Series race. They have failed to make the fall Talladega race in the Camping World Truck Series, so Brendan Poole, unfortunately, will not be in today's race. The number 32 truck of Gus Dean from Wintron Motorsports failed to make it, as well as the 28 of Brian Doza. Number 34 of Josh Rayom missed out on the starting grid, as well as the number 44 truck of Trevor Bain, the 2011 Daytona 500 winner. And from high to low goes the number 61 team of Max McLaughlin. After winning in an incredibly close photo finish at Homestead, they did not make the field here at Talladega Superspeedway. Neither did the number 68 of Clay Greenfield, nor the number 97 of Jesse Little. And that is the full 18 trucks who did not make the field here at Talladega. And so the green flag flies at the Talladega Superspeedway in the final race of the round of 8 in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. The field already fanning out into 3-wide racing as the 56 of Timmy Hill leads the field through turns 1 and 2. Takes a little while to get up to full speed here at Talladega. Once they complete lap number 1, that's going to be right around when this field is up to full song. Inside line is moving early. 56 truck of Timmy Hill edging out in front. 45 of James Busher makes the look down to the inside. Busher trying to go for that top spot through turns 3 and 4. Outside line does not have very much organization at the moment. Fresh tires right now on these trucks, so nobody's lifting as of yet. 45 truck has a bit of a separation from his pusher, the 38 of Todd Gilliland. Outside line moving once again. Here comes Timmy Hill back to the start-finish line, and Timmy Hill is going to lead lap number 1 from the pole. On lap number 2, the inside and outside lines are still fairly well matched, but a push from the 38 truck just barely propels the 45 truck out in front, and James Busher leads the second lap. And by lap number 3, the 52 truck of Stuart Friesen is starting to charge his way up through this field, breaking his way up into the top 20 right now. And coming into lap number 4, we have some dicey racing as the 3 truck goes all the way down to the bottom, forces a 4-wide move, including Willie Allen, the 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek, and the 92 of Austin Terrio. Fortunately, they back off, and they make it through there without starting an accident as the front 2 trucks of James Busher and Timmy Hill still running side by side. But that 3 truck of Jordan Anderson wants to make something happen down on the bottom. Once again going 4 wide as the 4 and 53 trucks of Greg Alding and John Hunter Nemechek touched right there coming into turn 3. And it takes all the way to lap number 5 until the 38 truck of Todd Gilliland pushes the 45 truck of James Busher out in front of the field. Beast Motorsports 45 truck now paces the field in the Chevrolet Silverado 250. And Johnny Sauter in his second to last start for ThorSport, not playing nicely with teammates. Right here forces a 4-wide move underneath his 2 playoff contending teammates of Grant Enfinger and Ben Rhodes. Enfinger and Rhodes bounce off each other coming into the 3rd turn. And Johnny Sauter trying to make something happen all the way down on the bottom of the track as the field separates just a little bit, as everybody was trying to avoid an accident right there, and the outside line is starting to charge once again. As the 38 truck gets separated from the back bumper of the 45 by the 09, at the line the 56 truck led the lap. And on lap number 6, the 14 and 56 trucks had practically managed to tandem their way well out in front, but they were punching such a large hole in the air that watch this run by the number 3 truck of Jordan Anderson. As you can tell, carrying an awful lot of momentum out of the 4th turn as the 14 and 56 trucks duck down to the bottom to try and defend. Here comes a run from the 3 truck, getting pushed by the 4 of John Hunter Nemechek, separates the 14 truck back and gets the run down to the bottom of the 56. Jordan Anderson going after the top spot here at Talladega as Timmy Hill goes without very much help up on the outside line. Outside lost some organization. Johnny Sauter helps the 3 truck of Jordan Anderson to the top spot here at Talladega. Coming into lap number 8, Johnny Sauter abandons his drafting partner of Jordan Anderson, ducks down to the bottom of the number 3 truck, and goes to the top spot through turns 1 and 2 with some help coming from a fellow Wisconsin driver of Ty Majeski in the number 55 truck as Timmy Hill almost made contact with the outside wall. Coming off of turn number 2, you can see the field fanning out down the back straightaway. 13, 55, and 98 trucks have cleared the field for the moment as there's a 4-wide battle going on with the 92 of Austin Terrio down on the bottom. The 13 and 55 trucks work together out in front of this field, separating themselves from the 3rd place truck by now about 0.3 of a second. That's going to offer the pack a good chance, though, at running them down with a big head of steam. And by lap number 10, the pack had caught back up to the 13 and 55 trucks, separating the 55 back from the 13 of Johnny Sauter. Grant Enfinger down on the inside, going for the top spot, battling with his teammate of Sauter, as these two have really not been working together very much through the course of this race already after just 10 laps have been completed. Down on the inside, John Hunter Nemechek goes to help the 98 truck of Enfinger, as Johnny Sauter still doing a good job at controlling the lanes here at Talladega. Here comes the 98, though, gets the push from the 4 of Nemechek down on the bottom. It's 3 against 1 right now. Outside has more trucks working with it. Here comes Jordan Anderson down to the bottom to help that inside line's momentum, and the pack catches back up as the 13 of Johnny Sauter leads that lap. And the inside and outside lines ran dead side by side for multiple laps, being led by 2 ThorSport trucks of Grant Enfinger and Johnny Sauter. Inside line, though, starting to prevail with the 4 truck of Nemechek pushing that 98 of Grant Enfinger to the race lead. And finally, barely clearing the 13 truck down the back straightaway. And we have several playoff drivers dropping to the back of the field on purpose, including the 88 of Crafton, 60 of Mears, 52 of Stuart Friesen, and the 16 of Austin Hill. They don't want to be running with the squirrels up towards the front. And watch this on lap 112. While Ty Dillon was trying to go for a 4-wide move, the KBM teammates of Drew Dollar and Ty Gibbs made side-by-side contact at about 190 miles an hour. Very impressive right there for those two to keep it together. On lap number 13, the inside and outside lines have pulled up side by side once again. Watch this move through turns 1 and 2. The 4 truck of Nemechek actually separates from the 98 of Grant Enfinger, and the 13 and 55 trucks get a great run of momentum down the back straightaway, sends the 98 truck through the sucker hole right there. 13 of Sauter manages to clear the 98 of Enfinger. Now ThorSport controls the top side. Sauter's still out in front. And now John Hunter Nemechek challenging for the top spot down on the bottom. Jordan Anderson currently sets in 3rd position. ThorSport up on top. A KBM and Jordan Anderson truck down on the bottom. On lap number 14, you can see the tire wear starting to show itself on this hard tire compound as the 53 truck of Gray Galding had to back off the throttle, and that separated the pack coming off of turn number 2 as the 4 truck of Nemechek gets pushed out to the race lead by the 3 of Jordan Anderson. The ThorSport trucks get kicked up to the top side, now trying to be separated by the 55 of Ty Majeski. And the number 3 truck of Jordan Anderson dives down to the inside, the 4 of John Hunter Nemechek. He's got the 56 of Timmy Hill in line. Remember that the 3 and 56 trucks are both running Germain Racing equipment. And at the start-finish line, it is the 3 truck just barely leading the lap. On lap number 16, we have a bit of a dicey moment up towards the front of the field as the 45 truck of James Busher pushes up into the 53 of Gray Galding. Galding then makes contact with the 75 of Kligerman. Fortunately, they keep it going in the right direction. You can see the number 8 truck of Joe Nemechek has driven his way up into this lead pack as well. And on lap number 16, the 12 truck of Christian Eckes sees an opportunity to go 4 wide coming into turn number 1 with 2 of his teammates up on the outside, those being Truex and Majeski, as well as Johnny Sauter way up by the wall. But he makes the move stick, getting his left sides on that yellow line. The number 3 truck of Jordan Anderson has cleared the field for the moment, but here comes the 4 of Nemechek with a big run on the bottom. And John Hunter Nemechek clears the number 3 truck through 3 and 4, but here comes Timmy Hill to the inside with a run coming from the 12 of Christian Eckes. 56 and 12 trucks hook up through the tri-oval. It is Timmy Hill who is going to lead the lap of the stripe. They are going 4 wide with Haley Deegan down on the bottom. Here comes another 4 wide move being made by the 99 truck as there's trouble coming into turn number 1. The 3 truck gets turned up into the outside wall. The 13 of Johnny Sauter collected. The 75 of Parker Kligerman rolls off the high banks as we have a junkyard down in turns 1 and 2. And this caution will end stage number 1 prematurely. This is the race back to the green and white checkered flag. 56 truck had way too big of a lead, and here comes the 4 of John Hunter Nemechek down to the bottom. Nemechek with some help coming from the 12 of Christian Eckes. Here they come through the tri-oval with the yellow flag being displayed. Eckes is not going to be able to make the move in time, and John Hunter Nemechek will win stage number 1 here at Talladega following a large crash coming down to turn number 1 that involved 2 playoff contenders. And so John Hunter Nemechek wins an action-packed stage number 1 above Christian Eckes, Ben Rhodes in 3rd spot, Timmy Hill, who dropped all the way down to 4th, and Haley Deegan in 5th position. Also shout out to Joe Nemechek in 6th spot. So here's what happened coming down to turn number 1. The intensity just building as we get ever closer to the end of stage number 1. Everybody going for all the track position they can get. The 8 truck of Joe Nemechek actually pushes up into the 33 of Ryan Truex, taking Truex up into the outside wall with his teammate Ty Majeski. Then Nemechek accidentally turns around the 3 truck of Jordan Anderson. More trucks pile into this mess. The 13 of Johnny Sauter with a little bit of damage. The 31 does a good job at missing it. 98 of Enfinger maybe got a little bit of front-end damage out of this. 75 truck gets hit right there. 92 truck got damaged. 60 of Casey Mears gets some out of this crash, actually piles into the 75, and that is how Parker Kligerman turned upside down. Now we have trucks just falling back down onto the apron. This racetrack in the corners absolutely self-cleans with the highest banks in NASCAR, and that just collects a bunch of trucks down on the bottom who had collected down onto the bottom of the racetrack, checking up for the initial accident. And here's a look at the accident in real time. Just gets squeezed up into the outside wall right there, and it's just a melee from there. You can't slow up completely in time, and that's what happened to the 75 truck, getting punted over by the 60 of Casey Mears. 3 playoff contenders involved in this one: Friesen, Ty Gibbs, and Casey Mears. Fortunately, though, for Mears, this situation does not matter for him, as he is already locked in to the Championship 4 from his victory at Martinsville, as there's quite a bit of damage on the front end of that 60 truck. And how about this, by the way? The 75 truck gets turned over right there, does a bit of a lazy Susan roll onto the apron, gets the truck refired, and actually drives away from this accident back to pit road. Now, this crash knocked him out of the race, but Kligerman got that truck refired and drove the thing back. And following that accident, the 3 trucks that were knocked out of the race include the 60 of Casey Mears, who has already clinched his Championship 4 spot, the rolling number 75, as well as the 40 of Will Rogers, who looked like he got through it fairly cleanly until right there. The 3 truck slides down right in front of him, and the 40 has nowhere to go and plows right into the side of the 3 of Jordan Anderson. So just 3 trucks out of the race following that stage number 1 ending caution. And here's the onboard from the number 88 truck of Matt Crafton, who narrowly avoided this big accident into turn number 1, actually gets onto the throttle and accelerates beyond it. Just barely missed from being clipped by the 60 of Casey Mears, as you see the 75 truck rolling off the high banks. And on lap number 19, the entire field hits pit road. And so the first truck out of the pits was the number 4 of John Hunter Nemechek, getting out in front of the number 99 of Ben Rhodes, the highest running playoff contender at the moment, and the number 12 of Christian Eckes. And we should mention that the number 52 truck of Stuart Friesen still runs in today's race. He is, however, 1 lap down. Also, other trucks who were damaged who are still running include the 55 of Ty Majeski, 33 of Ryan Truex, and 3 of Jordan Anderson, who all 3 of them set 2 laps behind race leader Nemechek. And so the green flag waves on lap number 22 for Stage 1 winner John Hunter Nemechek, as the field already fans out, coming to the green flag. Down the back straightaway, as the field was getting up to full song, the 1 truck of Haley Deegan went down to the bottom of the racetrack, making a 3-wide move for the 2nd position. She restarted down in 4th spot, the field already going into groups of 3 wide. Here comes Joe Nemechek down on the bottom, trying to get with a fellow Ford truck, but he gets shut out of line right there by the 21 of Zane Smith. Deegan still going for that 2nd spot through the tri-oval, as here comes Smith now to the bottom, 3 wide for 2nd, with Nemechek still out front. And there was a close moment on lap number 24 down the back straightaway. The 09 truck of Stephen Parsons drifts up into the 14 of Sam Mayer, turning him down into the 11 of Spencer Davis. Fortunately, they get it corrected without starting an accident. On lap number 24, we practically have 2 tandems out in front. The 12 and 4 trucks up on the outside, and the 2 Fords of the 1 and the 8 on the inside, with the 4 of Nemechek still leading at the start-finish line. And now the pack rejoins this group. You see, the tandem really only works for about 1 to maybe 2 laps, but then the packs kind of reform up on them. But down on the inside, the 8 and 1 trucks now battling for the spot. Here comes the 31 of Ty Dillon, trying to make it nearly 4 wide for the top spot. That ruins the inside lines organization. And now John Hunter Nemechek is back out in front. And John Hunter Nemechek was able to hold off the entire field for numerous laps here at the Talladega Superspeedway. That Ford truck is incredibly strong, right there holding off 3 rows of racing behind him. It's very difficult to block 3 lanes of traffic. That's pretty much the entire racing surface here you have to swerve back and forth on. Down the back straightaway on lap number 27, the 13 and 21 trucks work their way to the inside, but then they separate, allowing the 31 and 4 trucks to push their way past, with Nemechek still out in front, and the 31 of Ty Dillon clearing the inside lanes, now for 2nd. On lap 27, both the 3 of Jordan Anderson and the 92 of Austin Terrio are barely making minimum speed. They're literally within 5 miles an hour of dropping below it. On lap number 28, 2 Thor Sport trucks gang up down on the inside, those being Ben Rhodes and Johnny Sauter, trying to push their way past the number 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek as the outside line loses some of its organization. Down to the start-finish line, Johnny Sauter finally leads a lap, breaking the string of laps led by the number 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek, as now the inside and outside lines draw even, with now the 13 trying to inch his way ahead. On lap 29, Ben Rhodes tries to send his teammate and drafting partner Sauter to the middle, but Sam Mayer jumps down to the bottom, tries to make it 4 wide down into turn number 3, backs off, and gets back into line with Ben Rhodes shooting out to the race lead, as the pack dissipates once again as the tires have started to wear. On lap number 30, we have Sauter leading the inside line, Ben Rhodes leading the outside, and they finally run up on the lap traffic of Jordan Anderson and Austin Terrio, who are barely hanging on to minimum speed. The field gets boxed in by the lap traffic, and the 13 of Johnny Sauter shoots by to a very big race lead. However, none of the rest of the lead lap trucks stayed with him, and having such a large advantage for the 13 of Sauter is going to come back to bite him. And now with 10 laps to go, in stage number 2, the 53 truck of Gray Gaulding tries to make it 4 wide for second position down on the bottom. He does make it 4 wide, but for third spot, as now the 31 and 53 trucks have finally cleared all the lap traffic. The 13 of Sauter is absolutely going to be a sitting duck out in front, more than 1 second above the pack. There's going to be absolutely nothing he can do to hang off the onslaught from this lead pack that's going to be running up on him at more than 15 miles an hour quicker, as the 53 truck of Gray Gaulding takes over second. And now the 56 truck of Timmy Hill wants that second position. They all want to be in second spot for the moment that they run up on the 13, because that will be the easy opportunity to take over the race lead. And on lap 32, it is no contest. The number 13 truck of Johnny Sauter, with no help, gets easily swarmed by the pack, with the 56, the pole sitter of Timmy Hill, shooting out to the race lead. And the 16 of Austin Hill, no relation, takes over the second spot. And right up in front of the leaders is yet another lap truck who is borderline on making minimum speed. That's the 55 of Ty Majeski. As now we have a 3-wide battle for the top spot. Here comes Gaulding down to the bottom. They're nearly going 4 wide for second spot. 56 truck gets back in line. Gaulding is currently your leader. Here's the lap traffic. Gaulding gets by his teammate, the lap truck of Majeski, as it dissipates the middle line of Crafton, getting stuck in line behind the 55. And here comes the 14 of Sam Mayer to the bottom, taking away the race lead as the field gets continually whittled down by the lap traffic. Now here comes Sauter to the bottom, trying to slingshot his way around the 14 truck, and he is going to do it. Johnny Sauter now back out front here at Talladega. He's going to have some drafting help from the 09 of Stephen Parsons down on the bottom. The inside and outside lines being led by Sauter and Mayer ran side by side for about 2 laps until lap number 35, where Sauter finally got the push from the 09 strong enough to clear that top side, and the middle line dissipated, easily allowing the 13, 09, and 46 trucks to take control of the race at the moment. And so the field has one more lap truck up in front of them before the end of stage number 2, that being the 33 of Ryan Truex. And watch this down the back straightaway. Here comes the lead pack being led by Johnny Sauter, with a move being made down on the inside by the 46 of Chandler Smith. Right in front of the pack is the 33 of Ryan Truex, and the engine lets go on the 33 truck as the pack is starting to catch up to him. They now have to make evasive action to the inside or the outside of the 33 truck. Truex dives down to the bottom where he should go, but we have trucks running beneath the yellow line trying to make up track position as well, so Austin Hill gets boxed in. But Ryan Truex drives quickly onto the apron. No caution flag comes out for this, but it is a very dicey moment up in front of the lead pack, which once again separates a lot of our leaders, as there was just 2 trucks who made it through that mess down the back straightaway with the number 33 truck of Ryan Truex without having to slow down whatsoever, those being the 09 and 13 trucks of Sauter. And Stephen Parsons, as Parsons is going for the race lead, and he will lead at the start-finish line, but this pack is going to swarm them very, very quickly, as the 09 and 13 trucks have no drafting help out front. Here comes the 41 of Dawson Cram with a huge run, as well as the 99 of Ben Rhodes. Rhodes makes the move to the bottom, He's going to have help coming from the 46 of Chandler Smith. They make the move to the inside. Here comes Smith trying to go 4 wide for second. And those 4 trucks going 4 wide has allowed the 13 of Johnny Sauter to clear them once again. There was contact between the 99 and 09 trucks of Parsons and Rhodes. One more lap truck up in front of the leaders, that being the relatively quick 52 of Stuart Friesen. There's Friesen right there, stopping up the outside and middle lines just a little bit. Once again, the 13 of Sauter gets too big of a lead. The field is going to absolutely swarm him in these final few laps of stage number 2 as the 41 of Dawson Cram tries to take over second. He's going to get it up off the top side. And with no contest, coming off of turn number 2, the 41 of Dawson Cram makes the move to the inside, the 13 of Johnny Sauter, and takes away that top spot. As the 09 of Stephen Parsons cuts right in line, passing the number 13 of Johnny Sauter as well. Barely gets the run on the 41 of Cram, but has to lift off due to the tire wear coming into turn number 3. Here comes Gray Galding up into the mix, as well as the 04 of Corey Roper. And how about this, the 03 of Scott Lagasse Jr. now going for a top 5 spot. Cram trying to control all 3 lines as Sauter cuts in front of the outside line. Lots of inside line momentum being built right now, as here comes Scott Lagasse Jr. 3 wide on the inside for 4th position. And Gray Galding taking over second, now getting a run on the race leader of the 41. However, the outside line has more organization. Here comes the 09 to the bottom to assist the 53. Down the back straightaway, the 41-13 versus the 53 and 09 trucks. Here comes the 03 to the bottom, going 3 wide for that 3rd spot. Through turns 3 and 4, the 53 truck still the race leader, as the 03 of Scott Lagasse Jr. is going to challenge him. We are coming to the final lap in stage number 2. Here comes the 31 and 03 trucks tandeming down on the bottom. Scott Lagasse Jr. takes over the race lead, as there is now just 1 lap to go in stage number 2 here in the Chevrolet Silverado 250. Lagasse Jr. out front, the winner at Watkins Glen earlier this season. The pack separates once again. Here comes the playoff contender of Ty Dillon to the bottom, as well as another championship contender of Austin Hill in the mix. Those 2 separate right there. Here comes the 41 of Cram back into this battle. 5 trucks under a blanket. Coming back to the green and white checkered flag. Here comes a run from Lagasse up off the top side. Outside line has better organization than the inside at the moment. Lagasse getting the push from Gray Galding up on the top side, inching just barely ahead of the 31 of Ty Dillon. Here they come through the tri-oval. Green and white checkered flag is in the air. It's going to be Scott Lagasse Jr. winning stage number 2 here at the Talladega Superspeedway with good momentum off the top side. Lagasse takes stage number 2 after his teammate Brennan Poole didn't even make the field, but On Point Motorsports takes the stage number 2 victory with the number 03 truck, still unsponsored, by the way, on that program. The 31 of Ty Dillon in 2nd position, 53 of Gray Galding in 3rd, 41 of Dawson Cram in 4th position, and finally the 16 of Austin Hill in 5th spot. And I should mention that during the final few laps of stage number 2, both the number 92 and number 3 trucks of Theriault and Anderson were parked for failing to meet minimum speed. They got to racing side by side and dropped below minimum speed. Now on lap number 41, following the conclusion of stage number 2, the entire field comes down pit road. And so the first truck out of the pits is the 03 of Scott Lagasse Jr. getting out in front of the 31 of Ty Dillon and the 21 of Zane Smith, now into 3rd position. And so we're going to go back racing with just 50 laps to go here in the Chevrolet Silverado 250. Field into the restart zone, and there is the green flag for the final stage of the round of 8 in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. The field already fanning out. And we've talked about restart violations an awful lot over the course of this round. We'll watch this at Talladega. The 11 truck of Spencer Davis goes up to the top of the racetrack. The 88 truck of Matt Crafton on the inside. And Matt Crafton barely beats him to the start-finish line. That is a black flag for the number 88 truck of Crafton. He will have to serve that under green, and that will almost certainly drop him 1 lap down. That could be the final nail in the coffin of his hopes of making the championship 4. And the number 21 truck was shot out of a cannon on this restart. Got up through the gears very well, got down to the inside of the 31 truck of Ty Dillon. Got the run on the 03 of Scott Lagasse Jr., enough so to where Lagasse couldn't even attempt to make the block without starting an accident. The 21 truck from third to first already here at Talladega. On lap 46, the 41 and 21 trucks tandem with each other out in front of the field, trying to gap the field at least for this lap. And so the 41 and 21 trucks work together for about a lap and a half until lap 47. On the halfway point, the 41 truck of Dawson Cram jumps down to the bottom, gets picked up by the 03 Lagasse, but here comes the 99 coming down into turn number 3, 3 wide for second. However, the 99 truck backed off coming into turn number 3, but it looks like the 41 of Dawson Cram is going to take over the top spot coming off of turn number 4. And Dawson Cram had a pretty nice string of laps where he was able to just ride out in front of the field and pace them around the racetrack. However, on lap number 50, the inside line gained much better momentum and organization than what the outside line had. And so the 53 and 99 trucks of Gaulding and Rhodes push each other out front. Ben Rhodes is now your race leader here at Talladega. And remember, he comes in this race 17 points below the championship 4 cutoff. If he can win this race, that'll eliminate all of his worries about making the championship 4 at Atlanta. But here comes the 53, abandoning him and kicking him up to the outside. Gray Gaulding is now out front here at Talladega, but already the 42 goes to the bottom. Can we have multiple lead changes on just this lap alone? Here comes Willie Allen. 3 wide into turn number 3. 16 truck thought about going 4 wide, but the 99 and 53 trucks push their way past up on the outside. And the 53 truck of Gray Gaulding is back out front. There is the 88 truck of Matt Crafton on the racetrack, about to lose his lap to the race leader of Gaulding after Crafton had to serve that green flag penalty for the restart violation. Here comes the 99 of Ben Rhodes to the bottom, trying to take away that top spot. Might be able to get some draft from his teammate Matt Crafton. Those two still run side by side. The pack's going to catch up to them. But Rhodes uses teammate as a pick, and yes, he does, trying to cut down to the bottom, but he actually gets boxed in behind his own teammate. Willie Allen, down on the apron, takes away the top spot coming into turn number 3. Allen in his first Camping World Truck Series start since 2014, the 2007 Rookie of the Year Award winner, leads the field here at Talladega, the site of his best career Truck Series finish back in 07, where he finished in 6th position in the 13 truck for ThorSport. But here comes the 87, getting pushed by the 16 on the bottom, and the 87 of Timothy Peters led the lap. Numerous lead changes in the last few laps, and a lot of action out front here at Talladega, as here comes Austin Hill to the bottom as the 1 truck of Haley Deegan backed off down in turn number 1. Austin Hill gets off to the race lead as now the number 8 truck of Joe Nemechek races his way up into the top 5. At the end of lap number 53, here comes the 99 and 8 trucks of Rhodes and Joe Nemechek to the bottom. Inside line carrying great momentum right now, and Ben Rhodes is going to lead at the start-finish line. And on lap number 54, how about this? Joe Nemechek goes to the bottom of the track on the number 99 of Ben Rhodes. He's got help coming from the lap truck of Matt Crafton, who is racing very intensely up front, hoping to be in front of the race leader if we do, in fact, get a caution. But now Joe Nemechek gets pushed out to the top spot, leading the field here at Talladega Superspeedway in what could possibly be his final career Truck Series start. Nemechek and the 99 of Rhodes side by side to the line. Too close to call it the stripe. And scoring is going to give it to the number 8 truck of Joe Nemechek, credited for leading that lap, as the 38 of Todd Gillen got very loose down in turn number 1. On lap 55, we have lap traffic. Fittingly, it's the number 55 truck of Ty Majeski, running practically in the middle of the racetrack right there. The pack runs up on him, and he ends up boxing in Nemechek, Austin Hill, and pretty much every single line of the pack as the 99 truck of Ben Rhodes drives away, but to such a large advantage that it will come back to bite him. Number 8 truck of Nemechek also with a pretty large advantage as well, but he's at least within closer proximity of the pack. And on lap 56, Crafton tries to drive it in on the bottom, clipped the apron just a little bit, ended up slowing up the momentum of both himself and the 8 truck of Nemechek, allowing the number 99 of Ben Rhodes to stay out in front. Lap 57, setting up a good slingshot move as well as a push from behind from the 88 of Matt Crafton. The number 8 truck of Joe Nemechek takes away the top spot. Down the back straightaway as a 4-wide move gets made just barely by the 38 of Todd Gilliland. On lap 58, Matt Crafton unlaps himself from the number 8 truck of Joe Nemechek, and the 16 of Austin Hill sees an opportunity, and he goes 3 wide for the top spot. Drafting off the 88 truck of Matt Crafton into turn number 3, the number 16 of Austin Hill is now out front here at the Talladega Superspeedway. And there is yet another lap truck up in front of the leaders. This time it is the number 52 of Stuart Friesen, as the 16 of Hill has made his way around the lap truck of Matt Crafton, putting the 88 truck back down 1 lap. And we have a lot of action on lap number 60 as the 12 truck of Eckes tries to shoot down to the bottom of the 16 of Austin Hill for the top spot. Then Crafton goes 3 wide on the bottom, trying to get his lap back. There's the lap truck of Stuart Friesen, right in the middle of the racetrack. The lead lap trucks get boxed in by the number 52. However, the 88 of Crafton shoots by. Crafton gets back onto the lead lap as Carson Hocevar, the Homestead-Miami pole sitter, goes 3 wide on the bottom, trying to take over second. And the 52 truck really bottles up the field. Here comes a 4-wide move as the 31 drifts up the track and gets clipped by the 41 of Dawson Cram, starting a large crash coming off of turn number 4. Close to 6 trucks involved in this, and then the 55 piles hard into the mess. Ty Dillon's day is done, and so is his chances at the championship as the number 4 truck gets turned around through the tri-oval as well. Racing back to the caution flag, the number 16 truck is the leader, but he's going to try and lap the 88. Coming back to the caution flag, and Crafton gets his lap back. Matt Crafton just barely edges out the 16 truck at the line, and he is back on the lead lap and back in contention, especially now that the number 31 truck of Ty Dillon is out of this race. And so all this started from the number 52 team of Stuart Friesen. You know, they're at this point just running for points, hoping that something happens. And I guess in a way they started the something that they were hoping to have happen because a large accident occurred that they were not involved in. But it was because the 52 truck being off the pace kind of bottlenecked the field. But coming off of turn number 4, we got 4 trucks in a space only fit for 3. And the 41 truck clips the 31 in the right rear quarter panel. Joe Nemechek, Ty Dillon, Dawson Cram, and Johnny Sauter all run up into the outside wall right there. The 23 of Brett Holmes gets involved in this. There's the pole sitter of Timmy Hill in this mess. The 8 of Joe Nemechek sliding down the racetrack, just barely missing out on getting clipped. Actually, a little bit of contact between him and the 25 truck. We still got trucks sliding into this mess. There's Logan Misaraka getting a little bit of damage out of it. Roper, actually, the C's part for him. 26 of Chase Purdy gets some damage. The 1 of Haley Deegan, as well as the 2 of Sheldon Creed. But here comes the 55 truck, absolutely hauling the mail and slams the number 1, the number 31. Then the 2 truck slams the 31 as well. Here comes the 11 of Spencer Davis and just knocks the radiator dead out of the number 31 truck of Ty Dillon. Several trucks out of the race coming off of turn number 4 here at the Talladega Superspeedway. And here's the accident in real time. An unfortunate end to Ty Dillon's bid for the 2021 Truck Series Championship. It's clipped right there up into the outside wall. Numerous trucks involved in this accident. There's Nemechek sliding down and slamming the inside wall. Sam Mayer got some damage in this, and right there is the 55 truck just plowing into this mess. And there's the impact between the 11 and 31, which ended Ty Dillon's day. And here's what happened to John Hunter Nemechek right here through the tri-oval. He actually gets clipped by the number 98 of Grant Enfinger as these two are running on the apron. Enfinger turns around the number 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek. Let's see if he makes contact with the wall. Barely stays off of it and also barely misses out on getting clipped by the 56 of Timmy Hill. Came very close right there, but John Hunter Nemechek fortunately goes undamaged in this accident. But most importantly, number 31 truck of Ty Dillon is out of this race, And the number 88 truck of Matt Crafton gets a second chance as he is back on the lead lap. The full list of trucks out of the race following that crash include Ty Dillon, Joe Nemechek, Haley Deegan, Ty Majeski, and the number 2 truck of Sheldon Creed. And on lap 61, everybody comes down pit road for what should likely be their final pit stop of the day. And so the first truck out of the pits is Austin Hill getting out in front of Carson Hocevar, then the lap truck of Stuart Friesen, and then the lead lap truck of Chandler Smith. And so there is now 30 trucks running, and we're going to have 30 laps left here in the Chevrolet Silverado 250, and there is the green flag on lap 65. And you see this time Matt Crafton knew where to go on the restart. He jumped up to the outside to get around some of those slower trucks towards the tail end. No restart violation this time for Crafton as he is on a mission towards the front. And here comes the number 99 of Ben Rhodes to the bottom, going 3 wide. He restarted down in 4th position, going after the 3rd spot as the 16 now sets in the middle. Here comes a big run from the 42 of Hocevar up on the top, getting the push from the 46, and Hocevar takes the lead from the top side. Here comes Drew Dollar, almost out of nowhere, up in the 4th position now with 30 laps to go. And here he comes trying to go 3 wide for 2nd. Cody Rabaugh up towards the front of the field as well. That big crash off of turn number 4 really changed the running order, and there you see the 88 of Matt Crafton. He's back into this battle. Don't count him out because that 88 truck is strong. But the number 42 of Hocevar leads at the moment. On lap number 67, Drew Dollar establishes himself as the leader of the inside line. Getting the push from the number 9 truck of Cody Rabaugh. Inches ahead of the number 42 truck of Hocevar in the outside line. And at the start-finish line, the number 51 truck of Drew Dollar is going to lead. Here comes Matt Crafton quickly making his way back through the field. As you can tell, he's made his way well within the top 20 and will likely soon be within the top 10. And so Drew Dollar enjoyed quite a few laps out in front of the field, that number 51 truck for KBM, but look at where the 88 truck of Crafton is now. He has cracked the top 10 for Thor Sport Racing. As here comes Cody Rabaugh down to the bottom, trying to lead that inside line and potentially take over the top spot with a good enough push from the 38, and he does it. Cody Rabaugh is out front here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Lap 71, the 4 truck of John Hunter Nemechek tried to go to the bottom of the 9 of Cody Rabaugh, but got a little bit loose coming into turn number 3, and that backed up the whole inside line as Drew Dollar cut his way down to the bottom to then help out the number 9 of Rabaugh. And on lap number 72, here comes the 51 truck of Drew Dollar back to the top spot as the 51 and 42 trucks tandem their way past the lonesome number 9. Down the back straightaway, the 42 truck of Hocevar abandons the number 51 and slingshots his way back up into the top spot. But here comes another big run by the 16 of Austin Hill. He cuts down to the bottom without helping the 42 truck whatsoever. And Austin Hill takes away that top spot back to the start-finish line. Hill, the top-running playoff contender, could potentially win his way into the championship 4 here in the Chevrolet Silverado 250 as the 38 truck tries to go 3 wide on the bottom for 2nd. But here comes Gilliland trying to go for the top spot. Inside line does not have nearly enough organization right down there as the 12 truck of Eckes separates the 4 truck from that bottom line as well. And the 16 clears the field up on the top. And so the 09 truck of Stephen Parsons pushed the 16 of Austin Hill out to the race lead, but then abandoned the 16 coming off of turn number 4. And Stephen Parsons will lead at the start-finish line. With that 16 truck having very minimal drafting help up on the top, Parsons is your race leader, 38 of Gilliland trying to take over 2nd. I should also mention that both the number 14 and 21 trucks of Zane Smith and Sam Mayer have been parked for falling below minimum speed, as now the 38 truck of Gilliland goes to the top spot. He just about got put into the sucker hole, though, right there by the 12. It looks like he will be sent up into the middle. Matt Crafton to the inside, going to work with the 12 truck of Christian Eckes as the field is 3 wide, 3 rows deep. At the front of the pack, here comes Christian Eckes to the top spot, getting pushed by Matt Crafton. Crafton with an incredible rally on this most recent restart. Now up into second position, trying to win his way into the championship for here at Talladega, but right now he is safe to do it on points. Eckes is out front, Crafton into second as the field separates due to the tire wear. Right there, the 87 truck clips the inside apron with his left side tires. Crafton trying to go to the race lead down the back stretch. He's going to have a little bit of help maybe coming from the 09, but Stephen Parsons sides up with the outside line, and the 12 and 09 trucks push their way past the 88 of Matt Crafton into turn 3. Lap 76, though, the inside line builds that momentum on the number 12 and 09 trucks of Parsons and Eckes, to where the number 88 truck of Matt Crafton takes away the race lead for the moment. Here comes the 16 down on the bottom, trying to go for the spot. He is not willing to help Matt Crafton, but instead has to settle for a 3-wide battle for the third spot, as the 88 truck takes away that top spot coming off of the fourth turn with less than 20 laps to go here at Talladega. Outside line and inside lines somewhat starving of help right now coming from behind because of that 3-wide battle for third. But at the line, it is Matt Crafton to lead the lap. On lap 77, Matt Crafton leads the inside line. Christian Eckes leads the outside. Todd Gillen currently setting in the sucker hole as the 88 truck of Crafton gets the advantage from a push coming from his earlier season rival of Timothy Peters, as the number 09 and 9 trucks get kicked up to the top side, disrupting the number 12 truck's momentum. And here comes the 16 back down to the bottom. And the 51 trying to go 4 wide for second spot. He backs out, coming into turn number 1 to avoid an accident. Crafton out front. 87 truck of Timothy Peters jumps down to the bottom. Going to have 2 lanes working down the back straightaway for that top spot. Practically tandem racing at the moment for the race lead. 87 versus 88 at the front of the field. And through 3 and 4, the 87 truck of Timothy Peters gets the advantage, and the Nemco Motorsports Fleetwing 87 is out front. His teammate and truck owner, Joe Nemechek, already out of the race, so he's going to have to do it by himself. And right there, he loses his drafting partner of the 09 of Stephen Parsons. Here comes Drew Dollar back down to the bottom. He's been making aggressive moves all day long. Once again, gets the truck running on the outside of him loose, and that allows the 87 truck of Peters to shoot by with the race lead. And on lap number 79, this time Drew Dollar timed the run with some help. Makes the move with the 09 of Stephen Parsons to take away the top spot and lead on lap number 80. However, off of turn number 2, the 51 truck gets abandoned, allowing the 09 of Parsons to take away that top spot. And here comes Crafton, 3 wide on the bottom, doing everything he can to try and win this race. He's got some drafting help coming from his ThorSport teammate of Ben Rhodes, who might at this point need to win this race to make the championship 4. Came into this race at a 17-point deficit from the cutoff line. Right now, Parsons is your race leader. He goes up to the outside to block, now the inside. 09 truck for Phoenix Racing is out front. That team has won a Cup Series race at this facility with Brad Keselowski back in 2009. Battle for second between the ThorSport trucks. Ben Rhodes on the bottom, 4 wide being made into turn number 1 by the 42 truck of Hocevar. He backs out, and that allows the 88 truck and 09 trucks to break away. Here comes Crafton to the bottom. Matt Crafton going to try and make the move work with help coming from his ThorSport teammate of Ben Rhodes down on the bottom. And Matt Crafton is back out front here at Talladega Superspeedway. And take a look at who's making his way up towards the front of this pack. It is the spring race winner of Ty Gibbs. Do not count him out, as he's pretty much in a must-win scenario at the moment. Here comes Ben Rhodes on the bottom. And Rhodes is going to lead at the start-finish line, passing his teammate Crafton. On lap number 82, the 42 truck of Hocevar abandons the number 99 of Ben Rhodes coming off of turn number 2. And Hocevar takes away the top spot down the back straightaway as the field fans out for track position. 2 ThorSport trucks lined up on the outside, though. That's going to be a stout pairing up there with Rhodes and Crafton. On lap 82, we got 2 Fords making the inside line of the racetrack start moving. Corey Roper and the 38 of Todd Gillen down there, as Roper barely leads the lap. 04 truck out front here at Talladega Superspeedway, hoping to spoil the field in the Chevrolet Silverado 250, getting some drafting help from the number 38 of Todd Gilliland. We have a tremendous amount of lap traffic up in front of these race leaders, including the 13 of Johnny Sauter, 26 of Chase Purdy, and the 41 of Dawson Cram, all running in a small group together. And on lap number 84, the two Fords of Gilliland and Roper have tandemed their way out in front of this field. But here comes the 38 of Gilliland, makes the move on the inside. Going for the top spot, abandoning the 04 truck of Roper. Todd Gilliland is out front here at Talladega. The lap traffic right up in front of him is there's now a 3-wide move being made by Chandler Smith on the bottom. 10 laps to go here in the round of 8 in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. The final 10 laps to determine the championship 4 who will contest for that title at Atlanta. Here comes the lap traffic as the 16 takes over the honor of being the highest running playoff contender down on the bottom as the 88 truck of Crafton gets stalled out. Here comes the 46 of Chandler Smith on the bottom. Every single line gets boxed in by lap traffic. Here comes the 87 of Timothy Peters trying to go 4 wide into turn number 3. The 16 and 51 trucks made contact. As the 88 of Crafton almost gets put up into the outside wall, here comes Peters, who started this lap down in 9th position. He's going for the top spot off of turn number 4. Chandler Smith working with his teammate of Drew Dollar through the middle of the racetrack. A bit of a separation in the lap traffic, and Smith leads the lap. Austin Hill just barely in front of Matt Crafton as the highest running playoff contender at the moment. The field separates just a little bit, entering turn number 1. Lap truck of Johnny Sauter still out in front of the new race leader of Timothy Peters down the back straightaway. The 13 truck gets put up into the middle, blocking the number 46 of Chandler Smith in line. Here comes the 12 of Christian Eckes down on the bottom. He's going to take over the second spot. And with a big run now going for the race lead. Coming off of turn number 4, it's a battle side by side between Eckes and Peters for the top spot. Here comes the rest of the pack into the mix. Chandler Smith, Cody Rawbaugh, and the rest of this front-running group. Going to gang up on the outside line truck of the 87 of Peters, but here comes Rawbaugh, 3 wide for second. Puts the 46 truck into the sucker hole right there. As the field separates out just a little bit more, there's the 45 truck of James Busher in contention here at Talladega, getting side drafted by Scott Legassi Jr. down the back straightaway. A very close side draft between those two. And here comes Crafton all the way on the apron, trying to make up as much track position as possible, as the highest running playoff contender at the moment is the 88 truck of Crafton, racing with his teammate of Ben Rhodes, as out front, Rawbaugh and Eckes work together. And on lap 88, here comes the number 9 and the 46 trucks making their move down to the inside, ganging up on the 12 and 03 trucks. Down the back straightaway, Cody Rawbaugh takes away the top spot in the closing laps here at Talladega, trying to pull off a major upset. 46 of Chandler Smith takes over the second position. Matt Crafton going after a top 5 running position at the moment, going 3 wide on the bottom. He's going to take over 4th position. Now going for 3rd is here comes Chandler Smith on the bottom. Smith going for the race lead. He's going to have help coming from the 88 truck of Crafton. And Smith is back out front in that number 46 truck for Kyle Busch Motorsports. Here comes another KBM truck, the Stage 1 winner of John Hunter Nemechek, back up into the mix as the 46 takes away that top spot through turns 1 and 2. The pack spreads out once again as the 38 truck got loose down in turn 1 because of the worn-out tires at this point. And down the back straightaway, here comes the 88 making the move, as well as the 87 trying to go 3 wide on the bottom. The field fans out for the top spot. The 88 and 87 trucks drug each other back with a side draft, and the 46 and 9 trucks shoot by up on the outside. Smith back out front, Rawbaugh into second, and Timothy Peters running in 3rd position. As we now have just 5 laps to go here at the Talladega Superspeedway, Rawbaugh to the bottom. The pack starting to close that gap once again as the 46 truck gets kicked up to the outside. Rawbaugh back out front. Here comes the 87 of Peters. Shoots his way into the race lead, as Greg Alding will assume the second spot. Gaulding makes the move, though. He dives down to the bottom. He might have some help coming from the 51 of Drew Dollar. As Dollar tried to pressure the move but got loose entering turn number 3, he had to back off as Gaulding shoots out to the race lead with Gillen taking over the second spot. Here comes Gillen, though, makes the look down to the bottom. He does not have any drafting help, going to have to settle for second at the moment. 5-truck breakaway. That will not last for very long, though, as that rest of the pack will certainly gang up on those top 5 trucks, kind of slowing each other down by aggressively side drafting at the front of the field. Here comes the 38 down to the bottom. Todd Gillen going for that top spot on the 53 truck, and Gillen's going to take it. Right now, it does not look like we are going to have any playoff contender locked their shot into the championship for at the moment. So many possibilities for a spoiler running out in front as the 09 goes 3 wide for the race lead, entering turn number 3. There is 3 rows of 3 wide racing at the moment. Matt Crafton trying to make the look down to the inside of the 09 truck as there's the lap truck of Stuart Friesen up in front of the leaders. 53 truck getting a good push from the 87 up on the top side of the racetrack. There is the 52 of Friesen. Which line will he end up blocking? It turns out to be the middle and inside lines. The 53 truck gets off to a huge advantage because of the lap truck. But that's certainly going to be detrimental to that number 53 truck as he's got about half a second separation. The pack is going to gang up on him from this point. Here comes the 12 truck of Christian Eckes trying to set up a move on Crafton, but Crafton goes after second on the 09 of Stephen Parsons. Gray Gaulding has to try and block every single line up in front, but cannot block the inside. Here comes Crafton to the race lead. Matt Crafton rebounded from that restart violation, raced his way back onto the lead lap, and now leads coming into just 2 laps to go here at Talladega with a chance at punching his ticket to Atlanta. But here comes the 12 of Eckes to the bottom. Thor Sport trucks now lined up on the outside. Ben Rhodes and Matt Crafton as the 87 and 38 trucks slow each other down on the bottom. They have to back out as there's now the 12 and 53 trucks against the 88 and 99. 2 teammates tandeming in each line as the Thor Sport trucks get the advantage up on the top. Crafton clears the field as there's now a 3-wide battle for second, which drags back the 12 and 53 trucks as they were not willing to work together and commit to a push like the Thor Sport trucks. Out of turn number 4, Matt Crafton dives down to the bottom to block. Field starting to get single filed out as there is going to be 1 lap to go here at Talladega. Here comes Ben Rhodes to the inside of his teammate. Rhodes goes side by side with Crafton as the white flag now waves. Thor Sport trucks battling for the top spot as Ben Rhodes takes away the race lead coming off of turn number 2. Timothy Peters into position. He makes a look down to the bottom, but so does the 53 of Gray Gaulding, trying to make it 3 wide for the race lead. The Thor Sport trucks are going to be able to work together up on the outside. And they hook up on the top of the racetrack. Ben Rhodes gets pushed out in front by his teammate of Matt Crafton, clearing the number 87 of Timothy Peters. He moves down to the inside to block, and coming through the tri-oval, teamwork ends up putting a Thor Sport truck into victory lane. Ben Rhodes punches his ticket to the championship 4 with the victory here in the Chevrolet Silverado 250 at the Talladega Superspeedway. Ben Rhodes takes the victory here at Talladega and has advanced his way into the championship 4 round next weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway through great teamwork in the final few laps among the Thor Sport teammates of Matt Crafton and Ben Rhodes. Rhodes takes his 3rd win of the season. Timothy Peters actually took home a very close 2nd place finish in the 87 for Nemco Motorsports. Crafton obviously brought it home in 3rd spot. Gray Gaulding in 4th. And Christian Eckes rounding out your top 5 as the 53 and 12 trucks just could not get the chemistry working as well as the 99-88 trucks did, which is what put them 1st and 3rd. But the Thor Sport trucks once again showing off just how consistent they've been all season long. Now here at Talladega, they utilize teamwork to take home the victory and lock yet another ThorSport truck into the Championship 4. At this point, I believe that they have clinched 3 of the 4 Championship 4 spots. And here's the move that really made the difference, the commitment out of Matt Crafton here up on the outside line to stay with the number 99 of Ben Rhodes, coming through turns 3 and 4, pushing him beyond the 87 of Timothy Peters as the 88 and 87 trucks slowed each other down right there from battling side by side. It allowed the 99 of Ben Rhodes to hold that race lead and ultimately take home the victory here in the Chevrolet Silverado 250 at the Talladega Superspeedway. And yet another ThorSport truck had a good finish. The number 98 of Grant Enfinger brought that truck home in 11th position. A tough finish out of the number 52 team, 28th position, 4 laps down, ends up getting them eliminated from a chance of competing for the championship next week at Atlanta. The spring race winner here from Talladega, the number 18 truck of Ty Gibbs, brought it home in 19th position, just not good enough to make the championship 4. He has been eliminated from championship contention. Finally, the number 16 of Austin Hill brought it home all the way down in 23rd spot. That was as well not good enough to make the championship 4. Hill's chance at a championship ends here today at Talladega. And the last driver to be eliminated was obviously the number 31 truck of Ty Dillon, who crashed out earlier on in this race. And it just really makes you wonder about that finish at Homestead-Miami Speedway, where Dillon lost out on the victory by 14 one-thousandths of a second to Max McLaughlin. That one position and 14 one-thousandths of a second could have made the entire difference in whether or not Ty Dillon would be going to Atlanta with a championship or in the position that he is right now, packing up and heading home out of Talladega Superspeedway with no chance at the title at Atlanta next week. And so ThorSport Racing pulls off a shake-and-bake style victory, I guess you could say, here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Ben Rhodes takes the win in the Chevrolet Silverado 250 with just 7 laps led. It is a clutch victory which clinches his spot in the Championship 4. 3 out of 4 Championship 4 positions being held by a ThorSport truck. Timothy Peters claimed a second-place finish from a 40th place starting position. That really proves that at Talladega it does not matter whatsoever where you start at. All that matters is where you finish, obviously. Matt Crafton brought it home in 3rd position after a very tough day, which included a restart violation, getting trapped a lap down, racing hard with Austin Hill to get back on the lead lap. And just a few thousandths of a second is what made the difference between Matt Crafton making the championship 4 and not. Because if Crafton would have been stuck 1 lap down, there's not a chance that he would be having a chance at the championship next week at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and that might have brought a driver such as Austin Hill closer to making it. And it's another one of those kind of what-if situations out of this playoff so far, because 14 one-thousandths of a second made all the difference for Ty Dillon making the championship 4 or not, and in this case he did not. And Matt Crafton, if he would have been just a few more thousandths of a second behind the 16 of Austin Hill, he most likely would not have made the championship 4 either. So very intense racing all throughout the round of 8 races from Martinsville, Homestead, and Talladega, coming down to just mere thousandths of a second determining who makes and does not make the championship 4. Then we have Gray Galding. Brought that number 53 truck home in 4th position in his final Camping World Truck Series start of the season. Then we have Christian Eckes in 5th spot in the number 12 truck, teammate to Galding. Those two just really could not get the teamwork going on those final few laps. They might have had a chance of pushing their way past the ThorSport trucks, but they just could not get organized enough to pull it off. Hocevar brings that 42 truck home in 6th position. Todd Gilliland in 7th. Corey Roper with a good 8th place finish. James Busher, the 2012 Series champion, in 9th position. And Scott Lagasse Jr., the stage number 2 winner, in 10th spot. And the driver who led the most laps of today's race was John Hunter Nemechek, who won stage number 1. He brought that truck home in 18th position. By the way, he led the most laps with 11 laps led. Out of the 94 laps, we had 49 lead changes. Absolutely incredible, and it was among 23 different drivers. A very, very competitive race here at Talladega. By the way, shout-outs to Willie Allen, making his first Truck Series start since 2014. He finished in 13th position, and the pole sitter Timmy Hill finishing in 16th spot. And here are the point standings following the Chevrolet Silverado 250, the final race of the round of 8. The championship 4 is now set. Ben Rhodes wins his way in with the victory at Talladega Superspeedway. Casey Mears has won his way into the championship with his victory in the first race of the round at Martinsville in the United Rentals 200. Matt Crafton and Grant Enfinger both point their way in plus 33 above the cutoff line. So that means it's essentially a big three and me situation where you have the big three of this season being all three ThorSport trucks, and then Casey Mears, who made the championship four with his clutch victory at Martinsville. He made the playoffs to begin with because he scored the victory in the first race of the year at Daytona, which at that time he had no idea he was going to be even running the full season. He was only supposed to run the Superspeedway races this year, but after he won Daytona, Germain Racing upped his schedule to the full season. And now, Casey Mears has a legitimate chance at winning the Camping World Truck Series Championship. Obviously the underdog coming into Atlanta Motor Speedway, but he's pulled off incredible performances this season before. Do not count him out. It could come down to just circumstances where all three ThorSport trucks have trouble, for instance, and Mears would end up being the beneficiary. But then the four drivers who did not make the championship four. We have Stuart Friesen being eliminated by a full 33 points. Ty Gibbs by 36 points. Ty Dillon by 39 points. And Austin Hill misses out on the championship four by 44 points. It's going to be a very intense race for the championship next week at Atlanta Motor Speedway, I can tell you that for sure. And it's going to be kind of a rough situation if you're Duke and Rhonda Thorson, because you really can't have team orders when you have three trucks going after the championship with only one truck going after the title that is not out of your stable. I guess in a way you have to make sure that your three trucks don't end up taking each other out and then essentially giving the championship over to Mears, but it's still a very difficult situation to be in when you have so much conflict, I guess you could say, among three of your four trucks, as three of your four trucks are going after the championship. And so here are your reseeded point standings. Honestly, not that much to talk about right here, because all it comes down to in the championship four is which one of the four outplaces the other. So Matt Crafton, Ben Rhodes, Casey Mears, and Grant Enfinger, it's just best of those four will become the champion at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Very simple. However, the favorite, I guess you could say, even though he hasn't been performing very well as of recent, is probably Grant Enfinger, because he's shown the best performance of those four on mile-and-a-half racetracks. Then we have the highest driver in point standings among those who have already been eliminated from the playoffs. That means that Stuart Friesen jumps up to the 5th place in points. Christian Eckes, who was eliminated in the first round, jumps all the way up to 6th position in points. Timothy Peters up to 7th. Ty Dillon now falling to 8th position. Ty Gibbs has fallen to 9th spot. Austin Hill to 10th. Brendan Poole in 11th position, Parker Kligerman in 12th spot, Sheldon Creed, who suffered a very big drop-off from the earlier portion of the season. He still remains in 13th in points, but nowhere near as high up in the point standings as what we would have anticipated him being at for being the defending champion and running oh so well in the beginning of the year. But ever since the playoffs began, that team has really just fallen off ever since. Then we have Dawson Cram 14th, Ryan Truex 15th, and Brett Holmes in 16th position, rounding out all the contenders who have at least qualified for the playoffs but were eliminated. Then the highest driver in point standings who did not make the playoffs whatsoever, that is still Austin Theriault. Then we have Todd Gilliland, Zane Smith, and then Carson Hocevar rounding out your top 20. And so after all that information and all those intense races to determine our championship four in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series and who will be going after that coveted trophy at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, we now move on to my personal favorite segment of the show, Q&A, and it's back this week as we finally got questions in. And so let's get back to answering some of those questions. Welcome back to Post Tech, and yes, Q&A is back. And I gotta give you the disclaimer to start it off. If I mispronounce any names or handles, I do apologize, but it's bound to happen. Let's get right into question number 1 from Switchblade. Is Zane Smith leaving Chevrolet for Ford driver development? Now, we heard some rumors about this over the last few weeks, mainly pertaining to that number 34 truck out of FRM. However, Zane Smith has signed for GMS Racing for next season. It's a one-year deal once again, but Zane Smith is confirmed to return to the number 21 for GMS for the full 2022 campaign. Where he goes after that, we have no idea. That's his decision. Likely going to depend a lot on funding, sponsors, that type of thing. However, for next season, he will return to that number 21 machine with Kevin Bono Mannion most likely. And question number 2 from closed captions available: could Richard Petty Motorsports be under a new ownership soon? If it is rumored to be, do you think the Petty name stays? I think the only way that RPM would sell off in some sort of capacity would be if the Petty name was kept. If you go off of, recent mergers that they've had in the past, with whether that be Evernham or Yates, any business move that they make as an organization, the Petty name stays in one way or another. So it is likely that they're going to have new investors soon. Most likely Andy Murstein is going to sell out his stakeholder. However, most likely we'll keep the Petty name if it does sell to a new owner. I don't see the Pettys leaving NASCAR in any way, shape, or form. However, they may sell a controlling stake to another party to try and invest a little bit better in their organization, get that 43 car farther up front. As for instance, this season they've struggled quite a bit with Myatt Snyder going full-time in the 43 car, while last year when he was driving in those few starts in fully prepared RCR cars, he even won the Southern 500. So they have some improvement to be made, and likely they could get some new ownership into Richard Petty Motorsports to try and benefit their organization and run farther towards the front. At least that's the way I would likely assume that they'd want to go about it. However, the Petty name would still at least stay with the organization. Now, question number 3 from Cyan Titan. Was there any better option for Xfinity Series driver Josh Williams? So he's signed next season to drive for BJ McLeod Motorsports, and odds are that was really one of the few options that he got after leaving his previous team. The sponsorship money isn't exactly there with a driver like Josh Williams. While he does get great performances out of the equipment that he runs, he doesn't quite have the funding to get a larger profile organization on board with him. While I believe that he would succeed pretty well if he got with a team that had the resources and deep enough pockets, I do believe that was probably one of the few options that he got. He might have been able to bounce around among multiple lower-level teams. Maybe Rick Ware could have been an option, but I think that BJ McLeod Motorsports is about where Josh Williams was pretty much bound to end up. As much as I'd like to see him get a better opportunity, I don't expect too much beyond the realm of BJ McLeod, at least for next season. Maybe things will change. He'll land some sponsors, something along the lines of that. But right now, it seems to be kind of status quo. Even though he moved on to a different team, it's not much of an upgrade or a downgrade in any real way. Now, the next question from Dan the Man Hemrick: is GMS Racing considering downsizing? So next season, they've announced their full program. It still includes 4 full-time trucks, a part-time truck, and a cup car. Likely, if sponsorship falls apart after next season, or if they start to struggle with certain operations, most likely in the truck series, they might consider downsizing some of their organization. They have quite a few branches at this point. They're now supporting BMR in the Camping World Truck Series as well, so they could maybe use BMR as more of a developmental program. They wouldn't have to field as many trucks. They could probably consider downsizing within the next year or so, but they're not going to do it for 2022. I'd say that'd be a 2023 and beyond plan for GMS Racing to downsize, but I don't see it coming anytime soon. And so now the final question, also from Dan the Man Hemrick: is Landon Castle looking good for a solid ride? And the answer is yes. We are kind of working out a program to maybe get Landon Castle in a car with 2 3s on the side of it, to give you a bit of a hint. But Landon Castle's been performing extremely well as of recent. As you recall, he's finished 3rd in the Coca-Cola 600, longest race of the year, and he's brought the 89 car home in 3rd spot. He also brought it home in 3rd at Michigan, where he almost took the victory in that green-white checkered. So Castle's really outperformed his equipment a lot this season. I believe that he will be rewarded for that performance next year. And so, folks, that does it for episode number 27 of Post Tech. We hope that you've enjoyed it. The next time you'll be seeing us will be for the round of 8 in the NASCAR Cup Series, determining the Championship 4 that will race for that title at Atlanta. The races will be the Xfinity 500 from Martinsville Speedway, the Dixie Vodka 400 from Homestead-Miami, and the Yellowwood 500 from Talladega Superspeedway, 3 of the most intense races of the year, all determining that Championship 4 that will go head-to-head at Atlanta for NASCAR's greatest honor. And so be here next week on Post Tech as we set the Championship 4 in the NASCAR Cup Series.